Buckle in, boys. It's about to get real.
What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner fan 2016 here, and today we have massive unboxing number 10 for you guys, the Airliners International 2023 edition. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. Today, we have the 10th installment of my massive unboxings, and why not do so with all these models that I got from the Airliners International 2023 convention at DFW Airport from June 22nd to June 24th. Man, I have came a long way with mass unboxings. Now, I am premiering my 10th mass unboxings, and this mass unboxing is going to be very big because there are more models that I got from Airliners International 2023 at DFW. Now, if you have seen the Airliners International haul video, then those models that were from that video aren't part of this mass unboxing, and I want to put this in a separate video for this mass unboxing, of course, with all the modern airlines and airplanes in this unboxing. You're gonna be seeing that, so super excited to unbox all these models in one video. And yeah, it's a very big mass unboxing, so I'm just super excited to do this mass unboxing for you guys. And before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that there's gonna be some jumps from this recording and the recordings I did in DFW at the Hyatt Regency, because originally the other videos that I took during the airlines convention at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, those videos were unfortunately deleted, so that's just day 1 and 2, and day 3 were the only videos that were still there. So unfortunately, around day 3, the models I got from day 3, there's gonna be a time skip to where I'm at the DFW hotel, at the Hyatt Regency in this case, and for days 1 and 2, it's gonna be here in my house. So unfortunately, I think the reason is because I was trying to back up some stuff, and I kind of forgot to back up mass unboxing, and therefore it was just gone forever. But other than that, I'm still doing this mass unboxings. It's not the end of the world. I still can do it at my home, and yeah, just super excited to do this mass unboxing once again. And yes, the 10th installment of my mass unboxings. It's gonna be a big mass unboxing for you guys. Chapters are gonna be present in this video. And if you guys want to relax before we get started, make sure you got some popcorn or some kind of refreshments as I go through all these models. And man, I'm just super excited to dive down into what I'm saying is I'm just super excited to dive down into these models here. All the models I got from Airliners International 2023. Man, it's gonna be a fun video to watch, and I hope you guys are excited for it. Yeah, just hope you guys are excited for it. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a long video, so get ready. So, without further delay, let's get started with our first model from the Airliners bag. So, let's get started, everybody. Alright, everybody, let's get this show on the road. Let's begin with our first model for Massive Unboxing 10. And this first model is not a GeminiJets or an NG, but rather a different model manufacturer. And I think they started creating models within I think Q1 or Q2 of this year, so I'm super excited to have this model. And yeah, I got this model on day 1 of the collectibles show, and I'm just super excited to have this model, and it's another airline that I do want to add and build for my collection. And that is the Altitude models, 1/400 scale, JetBlue Airbus A320 with the spotlight tail with Sharklets. Now, if I remember correctly, this is from the Panda mold, but I guess Altitude models decided to use that mold and come up with this A320 from JetBlue. So I'm super excited to have this. This is my second spotlight tail, and my first one with Sharklets. So maybe it's my first A320 with Sharklets. I think so. I'm talking about the CO version, but other than that, I'm just super excited to have this model in my collection. So, you got the Airbus A320 200 towers right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got the nice art for the spotlight tail, looking very nice. You got the altitude model, logo right there. And you got the aircraft registration, which is November 805 Juliet Bravo, 1/400 scale die-cast aircraft model. Here are the sides. You got the registration and 1/400 scale right there. Airbus A320 tiles right there. Same sides. And here's the back side. Kind of like similar to what Panda designed their boxes. So you got all like the specifications for the Airbus A320 and specifically this aircraft, so you can pause and read. And let's get started with the unboxing. So first model for Mass Unboxing 10 is about to be unboxed. Now I already checked these models already if there's quality control, and they are intact, thankfully. So here it is, the JetBlue A320 Spotlight Tail, Sharklets. As I take her out of the box, the cradle in this case. Come on. Oop, don't want to like do it too much. Guess this cradle is kind of like hard to like open because like, I don't know why, but it's kind of like hard to open, but I'm trying to make, there we go. So I'm trying to make sure that's like completely like, the model does not fly to be exact. And there she is, our first model for Mass Unboxing 10. This JetBlue A320 and the Spotlight Tail with Sharklets. Looking absolutely very nice, and it appears like the main landing gear is somewhat like bended, but yeah, it was still like intact either way. So really fortunate to have this model in my collection once more, and it's a nice addition to my JetBlue fleet. So there she is. Oop. There we go. So here she is, the JetBlue A320 Spotlight with Sharklets. Looking absolutely very nice. And here's the altitude models 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A320 and the Spotlight Tail with Sharklets. Really nice to have this model in my collection, and it'll be perfect for my JetBlue fleet. So let's get started with the model review. You got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. I mean, the Panda mold for the A320 isn't as perfect. I mean, it's good, but it doesn't really line up with the NG, which is much better. At least Panda did a nice job on the nose shape of the A320 mold, which is very nice. You got your top antenna right there and the L1 boarding door right there. There's your nose gear and nose landing gear door. And moving on to this side, you got some pitot tube detail right there, and then you got the aircraft name, which if I can try to move it closer, it reads, "You Had Me at Blue," which is a very nice name for this aircraft. Then you got the Fly-Fi logo right there, you got the JetBlue billboard tiles right there. There's your IAE V2500 inches with the JetBlue.com tiles. You got some emergency exits right there, looking very nice. You got the Wi-Fi dome and some back antennas. Moving on to some wing detail. Here's the wing detail. You got the emergency exit doors and nice slat detail and flap detail, along with some fairing detail and spoiler detail. And then you also got the cold soaked field frost in there. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft. Here's the aircraft registration, November 805 Juliet Bravo, along with the US flag. And then you also got the Airbus A320 tiles right there. Moving on, you got the L2 boarding door right there. Well, not really boarding door, it's the L2 door. And then moving on to the empennage section, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers, and the JetBlue Spotlight Tail, which is very well printed on this aircraft, so that is very nice. Moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, here are your R doors right there, and there's your forward cargo bin, and the aft cargo bins are right here. Moving on to a top section, or like the top view of the aircraft. So here's the top view. Not much in detail, but you got like the red beacon light right there, looking very nice. Moving on to some bottom detail, very nice detailing at the bottom. You also got your steering hole right here. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice as well. And moving on to the back section, here it is. So this is a very nice model to add to my collection, and yeah, another JetBlue aircraft added to my collection as well. And yeah, the JetBlue Spotlight with Sharklets should be a nice addition to my JetBlue fleet. And yeah, really nice to have this model from Altitude Models. And overall, I think Altitude Models is off to a great start. And yeah, can't wait to see more. Well, we got some more models that are coming up for Altitude Models, so I'm very excited for that. And speaking of JetBlue, I also have another JetBlue aircraft coming into the video. So we're going to move on to our next JetBlue aircraft. This next model is a very exciting one because I got this model as an exclusive from West Coast Diecast, and I'm super excited to have this model in my collection, and this should be a very nice model to add. Of course, it is an exclusive like I said, but it's a very interesting model. But yeah, I'm just super excited to have this, and that is the NG Models 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A321 with the R200's aircraft sticker. So this was an Airliners International 2023 exclusive from West Coast Diecast. However, as of the August 2023 releases from NG, this is now a public release. So I got this model, of course, back in June, and it didn't take until August to release it fully to the public. So I'm just very fortunate to have this exclusive model. And yeah, let's get started with the review. So you got the Airbus A321 tiles right there, A321-200. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. You got all like the nice patterns for the Prism tail, looking very nice. NG Models logo, 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft, or 1/400 scale collectible models, die-cast metal. JetBlue.com, the JetBlue logo, and the aircraft registration, which is November 9042 Juliet Bravo. Here's the sides right there, looking very nice, and pretty much the same. And here's the back side. Of course, you got the NG logo and your warning hazards right there, and their social media pages right there. And the INA number is 13055. So I'm just super excited to have this. Of course, this used to be an exclusive. Well, that's mainly only for like the people who attended Airliners of 2023. And now they're going to be releasing it to the public, which should get the other people a chance to get this model. So here she is. And yeah, take a look at her right there. So here she is in all of her glory, looking absolutely very nice. Now, when I got this in Dallas, the front antenna, which is that one, ended up being broken, but thankfully they did fix that on the third day of the collectible show. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to have this in my collection. And take a look at her right there, looking absolutely very beautiful. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A321 in the Prism tail with the R200's aircraft sticker. What used to be an exclusive for Airliners 2023, now this model is a public release. And once again, I'm very fortunate to have this before the public release date. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape, of course much better than Gemini's. Here's the L1 boarding door right there with the Flyfly logo, and you got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. And then you got the aircraft name, which of course I do want to like put this up close. The aircraft name is Mesca. Oh, hang on. That says. Hang on, guys. Gotta take. Oh, there we go. So the aircraft name is Menta Fresca, which is a very interesting name for this aircraft. You got the JetBlue billboard tiles right there, as well as the L2 boarding door right there. You got some pitot tube and stack board details right there. Here is the what's that? Oh yeah, the L3 door right there. Here's your IAE V2500 engines with the JetBlue.com tiles. Here are the Sharklets, of course, looking very nice. Moving on to some wing details. So here's the wing detail. You got some slat detail, engine pylon detail, as well as some fairing details and spoiler detail and flap detail. Looking very nice. There's your Wi-Fi dome right there, and your back antennas, as well as the bottom antenna right there, which is very nice. Then you got the R200 aircraft sticker right there, which is printed very nicely on this aircraft, on this model in this case. Then you got the US flag, of course, with the aircraft registration, November 9042 Juliet Bravo. Here's the Airbus A321 tiles right there. Moving on, you got the L4 door right there. Then moving on to the empennage, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers, and the JetBlue Prism tail looking very nice. And yeah, once again, a nice exclusive model to have before the public release. And here's the starboard side of the aircraft. You got your R doors right there, along with the front cargo bin and the aft cargo bin right there. And now moving on to some top details. So here's the top detail right here, looking very nice. Moving on to some bottom detail. Here's the bottom. This is what it looks like. Here's the front detail of the aircraft. Well, it's kind of like blurry on the front, but this is the front detail. And here is the back detail, looking very nice as well. So yeah, a very nice exclusive model to have back when Airliners 2023 was going on. And yeah, once again, of course this is now a public release. And yeah, but once again, even though like I already have it, I don't really necessarily need another one because this is the only aircraft that's painted in this sticker. But other than that, it's a nice exclusive and glad to have it before the public release. Alright, now let's move on to our next model. The next aircraft is a very exciting aircraft to add to my collection, and this is one of NG's newer molds that they released back in early 2023, and this is one of like their first molds for this particular aircraft, and I'm just super fortunate to get this from the collectible show. And I also got this from day one, but what I got is the NG Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the Continental Globe livery. Man, I'm just super excited to have this model in my collection. I've been wanting to have a United MAX 9 in my collection for a very long time, and I'm just very glad that NG managed to do one. and this is their first Boeing 737 MAX 9 they ever did, so that's very exciting right there. So you got the Boeing 737 MAX 9 tiles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got the nice printed details of the Continental globe livery. Of course, you got these like line things. Of course, they're kind of controversial to some people, but I really don't mind. You got the NG Models logo right there, 1/4 scale, die-cast small aircraft, die-cast collectible models, die-cast metal. You got the United Airlines tiles right there, and the aircraft registration, which is November 37508, and the Boeing licensed product. Moving on to the sides, the price was $48.95. Not bad of a price. I got this from the Texan Airplane store, I think. But yeah, here's the sides right there, and here's the back. You got the NG logo right there, their social media pages and warning hazards, and the item number is 89001. Of course, this is their first Boeing 737 MAX 9 NG has ever made in 1/400 scale, like I said. So, let's get unboxing to this model, and yeah, just super excited to have this. And yeah, the MAX 9 should be a perfect addition to my United Airlines collection. And there she is right there. Now, I already like had the CRPs already. I like put them somewhere in like a stack. But yeah, I already took out the CRPs already. And there she is in all of her glory. Let me put it closer. Man, take a look at that model right there. Once again, really fortunate to now have a United MAX 9 in my collection. And this model looks absolutely beautiful. And she is just perfect for my United Airlines collection. Wow, what a beauty she is. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the Continental globe livery. What a nice model from NG Models, and their MAX 9 is so good. And yeah, very nice to have this model in my collection, and it's perfect for my United Airlines collection. So you got the cockpit windows right there. Of course, you got the nose shape of the aircraft looking very identical. You got some Pitot 2 detail right there. You got the Star Alliance logo. You got the L1 boarding door. Here's the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. It says ETOPS as well. And then you got the golden swoop, which runs all the way to the empennage of the aircraft, which kind of reminds me on what they have on their Dreamliners. They have like the swoop. And of course, you got the gray underbelly as well, looking very nice. You got the United Airlines tiles right there before the Evo Blue colors. They're just like very tiny. Of course, you got the top antenna right there. You got the CFM LEAP 1B engines right there, and the advanced or AT winglets. Yeah, they would call these like AT winglets or advanced winglets, but I like to call them either way. So these are like the advanced winglets for the 737 MAX, specifically for the MAX. Here's your emergency exit doors right there. Moving on to some wing detail. Oh, also here's the main landing gear as well. And now moving on to some wing detail. Here's some wing detail right there. You got the emergency exit slide indicators. You got the cold slope fuel frost, as well as the engine pylon. You got some fairing detail, some slat detail, and flap detail, and spoiler detail looking very nice. And then moving on to close to the back of the aircraft. Let me zoom in again. Alright, so here's the Wi-Fi dome right there and your back antenna. And I do like on how the bottom antennas are painted red, which is very nice for this model right here. Of course, the engine detail for the LEAP 1B is very nice as well for NG models. Here's what I'm assuming is the emergency exit door right there. Looking very nice. Here's the US flag right there and the aircraft registration, of course, November 37508. And then here's the L2 boarding door right there. Well, not boarding door, it's the L2 door. And here is the ship number of the aircraft. And now moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the interesting APU detail, kind of reminds you of like the 787 Dreamliner, and the horizontal stabilizers right there, and then beautiful United Airlines Continental globe tail looking very nice. Of course, like the Evo Blue is very nice, but the Continental globe tail also is very nice as well. And now moving on to the starboard side of the aircraft, you got your R doors, you got the forward cargo bin, and the aft cargo bins, which two of them are right there. Alright, so now moving on to like a top section of the aircraft. So here it is. So this is the top section, looking very nice. Moving on to the bottom, of course, no stand hole for NG 737, which is kind of like typical, but hopefully they can do a stand hole in the future for this model. Alright, so moving on, you got the front detail right there, of course, with the nice ground flex configuration. Not sure if the starboard wing is kind of like rised up, like it's pointing upwards a bit, but either way, it looks good in like a good way for NG. And here's the back side of the aircraft. So yeah, really nice to have my first United Max 9. I'm hoping NG can do like the Eva Blue livery soon. I think the Eva Blue should be a nice addition. There hasn't been like one for the Eva Blue Max 9 from United as of late, so hopefully NG models can be the first one to do so. But other than that, really nice to have this United Max 9 in my collection, and it's just perfect for my United Airlines fleet that I'm trying to build up. So yeah, what a nice model from NG. This next model is another model that I'm super excited to add to my collection as well. Now, I've been on the hunt for this model, and ever since I've seen it in Airliners 2023, I immediately picked that up. And it'll go perfect for another model plane that I also have. And it's another NG model from United Airlines, and that is gonna be the NG Models 1/100 scale United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Her Art Here, New York, New Jersey livery. A perfect addition to my United Airlines special livery fleet, and this will be perfect since I already have both the California and the New York Her Art Here aircraft, so very fortunate to now have this in my collection. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get my pencil. And here we go with the box review. So you got the Boeing 757-200 tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got the United tiles in the middle. You got like that faded United Airlines globe. And this nice gradient where it leads to like a sky blue to like a teal blue. And of course you got the New York City skyline right there. You got the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, and the Brooklyn Bridge as well. Not sure if this could also be the Chrysler Building, but very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. But you don't see the NG logo anywhere, so that's one thing to keep in mind about this box right here. But you can see the NG logo right there, and I got this model for like, I think that's $48.95, so close to the $50 range. And of course this aircraft is registered November 14102. Here's the other side with that nice gradient, of course with a sky blue to like a teal blue, and then it fades to a white gradient right there. Here's the top side, here's the other side, and here's the back. You can see the NG logo at the top left. You got, of course, everything's the same. You got the social medias, the warning hazards, and the item number is 53199er. And this is the second iteration of this model right here, as they already did the first one back in, I think it was April 2020. But yeah, really glad to have New York once again. And yeah, a perfect addition, and it'll complete my Her Art Here collection. And there she is, looking absolutely very beautiful. As I take her out of that cradle, there she is right there. Wow, what a pretty model this is. So yeah, here's the livery itself. And overall, NG Models did a wonderful job on this model. And yeah, the livery looks very nice. And yeah, very fortunate to now have Her Art Here, New York in my collection. And it's just perfect for my United Airlines special fleet. So yeah, very fortunate to have this model. And here's the NG Models 1/100 scale United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Her Art Here, New York, New Jersey livery. A nice model plane to add to my United Airlines collection, and overall I'm very fortunate to now have this model since I have both the Her Art Here New York and California, therefore completing the Her Art Here collection. So let's get started with the front review. Let me zoom in for this model right here. Alright, so there we go. So you got the cockpit windows right there. Of course, you got the nice nose shape for an NG757. You got some pitot tubes right there. And I think this can represent New Jersey. Here is a barn right there and the L1 boarding door. You got the Star Alliance logo right there, and then nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. Here's all your windows right there, looking very nice and printed very nicely. You got the big Billboard United tiles right there, looking very nice. Here's the top and bottom antenna on the front, well, close to like the very front. The front top antennas and bottom antennas as well. And yeah, here's the L2 boarding door right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got the Pratt & Whitney PW4000, not PW4000, what are they? Oh yeah, no, they're not Pratt & Whitneys. They're Rolls-Royce RB211s. I was thinking like the Delta 757s. But these are United 757s, and they operate Rolls-Royce engines right there. Well, the original United 75s operate Pratt & Whitneys, but these operate for Rolls-Royce. These are former Continental planes, by the way. Here are the emergency exit doors right there, excuse me. And here's the globe right there, which is quite very interesting for this livery. So yeah, the globe, like the Earth right there. And yeah, very nice. And of course, it's also well printed as well. Moving on to some wing details, so let me zoom out. So here's some wing detail right there. You got the engine pylons right there. You got some slat detail, the leading edge detail. You got the emergency exit slide indicators right there. You got some flap details and fairing details right there, along with some spoiler details as well. Looking very nice. And then moving on, Here's the winglet right there, the Scimitar winglet. Of course, it's very nice and proportional. Moving on to the back section, you got New York City right there. You got the Brooklyn Bridge. And then you got like, maybe this could be like the One World Trade Center if I were to guess. Here's the Statue of Liberty right there, and the Empire State Building is all the way right there. Here's your US flag right there, and the aircraft registration, of course, November 14102. Moving on to the back section, or close to the empennage, you got the LC door right there. Yeah, that's the LC door, so here's the LC door right there. And moving on to the empennage itself, well, before that, here is the Wi-Fi dome right there. And now moving on to the empennage, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers, and the beautiful Evo Blue United Airlines tail looking absolutely very beautiful. And yeah, once again, a very nice model from NG, and I'm very fortunate to now have this in my collection. Moving on to the starboard side, you got the R doors right there, and here's the forward cargo bin somewhere over there, and the aft cargo bin should be right there. And now for a top view of this aircraft, so here's the top view right there, looking very nice. The bottom is also nice as well, with some very nice detailing, and the stand hole right there. Moving on to the front, here's the front section of the aircraft, of course, with nice ground flex configurations on the wings, and the back side of the aircraft also looks nice as well. So here it is, the back side. So yeah, once again, I'm very fortunate to now have her out here in New York with me in my collection, or specifically my United Airlines collection. And honestly, I'm glad that NG did like a reiteration for her out here, California and New York, so collectors who missed out on the 2020 can get this as well. So yeah, a nice model to add to my collection once again. And yeah, a very nice model from NG Models, and I'm very fortunate to now have this in my collection, completing my Her Art Here collection like I said. So yeah, a very nice model, and I would highly recommend getting this model along with Her Art Here California. Alright, now let's move on to some GeminiJets now. Now, there's a couple of more NGs coming, but now we move on to GeminiJets, as I got 2 GeminiJets models on day 1 of the collectible show. Now let's start off with a model that I'm very excited for, and it's another special livery. And yeah, another special livery to add to my collection, and it's from this airline, which I'm very super excited to add. And that is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Alaska Airlines Embraer E175 in the Horizon Air Retro livery. Very excited to have this model in my collection, as I have seen this aircraft twice. Of course, the first time seeing this aircraft was back in April 15th when I was spotting SFO. And the second time I saw this plane was back in Sacramento around early May. So those pictures are on your screen right now. And overall, I really got a great shot of those two planes. The pictures I got a nice picture for both of those planes. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to see this aircraft. And yeah, honestly, I would rather prefer the Q400, but I think the E175 is just an upgrade. And yeah, it's still nice on this aircraft, but yeah, it's a very nice model. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to have this in my collection. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors as per usual. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, of course your typical GeminiJets generic box right there. Embraer E175 right there. Alaska Airlines titles, 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. Of course the sides are pretty much the same, so no need to worry about that. Here's the back side, as well as it gets features. You got the Alaska Airlines copyright label right there. And this is a 2023 release from GeminiJets right there. Of course, from the February/March releases. And here are the social media pages right there. And the item number of this model is GJASA2174. Let's have a look at that model inside the pamphlet. There she is right there, looking absolutely very nice. And here's the description of the E175, and particularly this aircraft, excuse me. So here it is, so you can pause and read. And let's unbox this model. So yeah, very fortunate to have the E175 Horizon Air Retro in my collection, like I said. And I also got this model for $39, so not big of a price, but hey, reasonable for a regional jet right there. And there she is right there, looking very tiny, and of course, very beautiful. So yeah, here's the ERJ175 from Alaska Airlines in the Horizon Retro livery. And yeah, once again, a nice model to add to my collection, and it's perfect for my Horizon Air fleet. I think this could be, well, I already have the Q400. I was gonna say that was my first Horizon Air aircraft, but my first E175 Horizon Air aircraft. Other than that, really nice to have this model in my collection, like I said. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Alaska Airlines Embraer E175 in the Horizon Air Retro livery. A very nice model from GeminiJets, and once again, I'm overall glad to have this model in my collection. So let's get on with the review. You got the cockpit windows right there, and you got the nose shape of the aircraft. Looking very nice on the GeminiJets mold. You got some pitot tube detail right there. You got the L1 Boeing door and some words right there. And then you also got the One World sticker right there. You got the red and orange cheat line that make up for the Horizon Air retro livery. And then you got the Alaska billboard titles, which appear brighter than like the Alaska billboard titles appear brighter, like lighter than what it used to be. It's like supposed to be like dark gray, but I mean it is what it is. That's how it turns out for this model. But the orange and red did turn out very nicely, at least. But yeah, not gonna complain right there. That's just like the only issue I found on this model. It's just like the color of the Alaska billboard tiles. You got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. You got the Horizon Air tiles right there as well. You got the CF34 engines right there and the main landing gear. Of course, you got the windows right there, looking very nice. Let's look at some wing detail. So here's some wing detail right there. Let me focus again. There we go. So here's some wing detail. You got the cold soak fuel frost. You got some engine pylons right there. You got some flap details, spoiler and fairing details right there. Looking very nice. And here's the winglet. And the red and blue stripes, not red and blue, the red and orange stripes are very nice. And it's well printed as well. Moving on to close to the back section of the aircraft. There we go. You got the US flag right there and the aircraft registration, which is November 652 Mike Kilo. And then there's your L2 door right there. And now moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers and the Horizon Retro Tail, or otherwise known as the Meatball. Looking very nice, and of course, it's very well printed on the tail as well. So yeah, very nice model from GeminiJets, and once again, very nice to have this model. It will be perfect for my Alaska Airlines fleet. And now for the starboard side of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors. The R1 door is much smaller than the L1 door right there. And your forward cargo bin is right there, and the aft cargo bin is right there. And now moving on to a top section of the aircraft. Let me just like set her like this. So here's the top section of the aircraft, looking very nice. Here's the bottom section. Of course, there's your stand hull right there, and nice detailing for 1400 E175 mold. Of course, this is not an antenna right there, as always. You got the GeminiJets logo right there as well, right there. Moving on to the front. Not much on wing flex, which I'm very proud of, so glad that GeminiJets is improving the wing flex on their E175 mold. And here's the back side of the aircraft as well. So yeah, a very nice model to add to my Alaska Airlines fleet once again. And yeah, nice to have this model in my collection. It's a perfect retro livery for my Alaska Airlines. I was like thinking of United E175s because I want those in my collection too, but I got a couple of Alaska E175s, and this is the addition to my Alaska E175 fleet. So very fortunate to now have this model. Excuse me. Whew. Very fortunate to now have this model in my collection. There we go. So yeah, nice model from GeminiJets, and you should get it for yourself. And now we move on to the heavies for this portion of section 1. So the first heavy I'm going to be unboxing is a freighter aircraft, and I decided to get this model because this plane has been flying to my local airport ever since. So I saw this during day 1 of the collectible show, and I decided to get this for myself, which I'm very excited to have. And hopefully this model can be perfect if ever I do like another model plane airport update in the near future. And that model is going to be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale FedEx Express Boeing 767-300F. Really excited to have this model in my collection, and yeah, this should be perfect if ever I do like a Sacramento International Airport update, because this plane has been flying to SMF ever since they retired their DC-10. So yeah, at least I have this 767, and this could also be my first FedEx Express model as well. I've been wanting to like have a FedEx Express model in my collection for a long time, and I'm very glad to have so. So yeah, this should be a nice addition if ever I'm going to be doing an SMF airport update. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. The generic boxes for their FedEx planes is very different, and I do like this design. You got the FedEx Express logo right there in the middle. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. Boeing 767-300F tiles right there. 1/400 scale die-cast mold aircraft. And yeah, it's an all-white box, which I kind of do like on how GeminiJets designed these boxes for FedEx planes. Here's the side right here. Of course, pretty much the same as per usual. There's some kind of like dent right there. There's kind of like a ripping over here. That's quite unfortunate, but I think that's coming from like me returning this model to my home. So that's quite unfortunate for that box right there. but the model is intact, which is a good thing. And here's the back side. You got the CGI of the image, the CGI image of the aircraft taken off right there with some cirrus clouds, as well as the guest speeches right there, of course, debatable. You got their social media pages right there, the Boeing licensed product right there, along with the FedEx Express licensed product right there. Very nice. And this is a 2022 GeminiJets copyright label right there, although it's released from January 2023. And the item number of this model is GJFDX 1994. And let's look at the pamphlet. Oop, I may have accidentally opened it, but let's look at the pamphlet. So here's the aircraft inside, looking very nice. And yeah, really nice job from GJ right there. And here's the description itself. You can pause it and read. And yeah, so it talks about the 767 and this particular aircraft. And the price I paid for this model is $45, which is not really bad for a heavy. That's kind of like a reasonable price for a heavy, but I'll take it. And here she is right there. Let me just take her out from the cradle. Of course, take out some plastic as well. And there she is in all of her glory, the FedEx 767-300F. Let me pull it closer. Wow, this is a very nice model right here. And yeah, once again, very fortunate to now have this model in my collection. And yeah, it's a perfect freighter aircraft. My first FedEx Express plane has arrived in my collection, and she looks absolutely gorgeous. Let me zoom it in, and there she is right there. What a beauty. And here's a GeminiJets 1/400 scale FedEx Express Boeing 767-300F. Once again, this is a nice model to add to my collection, and overall this is a new cargo aircraft that I've been wanting for quite a long time. And finally, I now have a FedEx aircraft in my collection, which I'm very happy of. So, let's get started with the review. As per usual, you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the 767 mold for GeminiJets, and then you got some pitot tubes detail right there. The world on time as their slogan, I think. You got the nose gear and nose landing gear door. You got the L1 boarding door right there, or just like the L1 door, just like the L door right there, just simple as that, L door. And then you got some name. I can't hardly know what name this aircraft is, so I'll just pull up a text on what the aircraft's name is. And yeah, you should see the name right there. So, a very nice name for this aircraft. Then you got the FedEx Express tiles right there. You got the cargo door, the L cargo door, which of course it opens up, like so. Of course, this is a 1/400 scale model, so it does not really open. It just, like, the printing of the cargo doors right there, which is very nice. You then got like the top antenna right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got the wing right there. You got the slat details right there. You got the CF46. What are those? Oh yeah, the CF6. Or wait, CF6, right? Yeah, CF6 engines right there with the FedEx Express tiles right there, the logo right there, looking very nice. This is a one-piece mold, which is kind of like reasonable. I hope GeminiJets can do like a two-piece 767 mold in the future, but I mean, this will do for now. And yeah, hopefully they do it in the future. So here's the wing detail. You got the pylon detail. You got the coastal field frost right there. And I do like on how this part is like, well, metallic. So it shows up like the heated pad areas for the coastal field frost, which is a nice addition to detail, like attention to detail from GeminiJets, which is very nice. You also got some ground spoilers and flight spoiler details right there. I think this should be like a flaperon. Well, oh yeah, they don't really have flaperons, but this is like some flap details, some aileron details are right there. Looking very nice. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft. Oh, by the way, here's the main gear right there. Anyways, moving on to the back section of the aircraft right here. You got the aircraft registration, November 104, Foxtrot Echo. You got your back antennas as well. And there's your US flag right there. And then moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers, and of course like the purple like Euro white thing. Of course the purple side for the tail. And speaking of that, here's the FedEx tail right there. If I can try to focus it, there we go. So here is the FedEx tail. So yeah, once again, this is a very nice model from GeminiJets, and yeah, I'm very fortunate to now have a FedEx plane in my collection. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, there is no R doors anywhere, so it's just cargo doors. You have the forward cargo door right there, and the aft cargo door is right there. And now for a top view of the aircraft, so let's position her to the top view. So here's the top view right there, looking very nice. Of course, nice detailing from all like the beacon lights and all the other stuff right there. Here's the bottom section of the aircraft, no antennas on the bottom, which is reasonable. And Todd did explain this, like, well, he really did explain why there's no bottom antennas. And the reason why there's no bottom antennas on recent GeminiJets models is because they fall off easily, which I would give GeminiJets credit. At least they removed the bottom antennas for a certain reason, but I mean it does look nice with bottom antennas, but yeah, I'll just take it either way. Anyways, here's the stand hole right there, and you got some other details right there. There's a rat turbine opener, like the carriage, like the, what is that, the door for the rat turbine right there. You got the GeminiJets logo and the bottom beacon light right there. Moving on to like the front section of the aircraft, if I can like try to position it. There we go. So here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice. And moving on to the back section of the aircraft. Let me try to maneuver it. Here is the back section of the aircraft, looking very nice. So yeah, I'm really fortunate to now have a FedEx aircraft in my collection. And yeah, a very nice cargo aircraft like for my collection. And yeah, very fortunate to have this model because like I've been wanting to have a FedEx model in my collection for a very long time. And I'm just very fortunate to have so. So yeah, FedEx 767 in my collection has been, well yeah, the FedEx 767 has been acquired for my collection. And I'm very fortunate to now have it to represent my Sacramento International Airport that I'm going to be doing in the future. But yeah, hopefully I do a SMF airport update soon, and I'm going to be using this aircraft in that update. Alright, the next model coming in on deck is another model that I'm super excited for. Now this is an NG model, and it's the first of their kind, so I decided to get this during Airlines because I have seen these in Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport already. And I'm very glad to have this one for my collection, and it should be a new type of aircraft. Well, somewhat type of new aircraft, but this should be a new aircraft for this like type of aircraft. Well, it's an aircraft, but it's a different type of aircraft. But other than that, I'm just super excited to add this to my collection, and that is gonna be the NG models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 787-8. This is NG models' first Boeing 787-8, excuse me. So yeah, I'm very glad to have this model, and this is also my first ever Boeing 787-8 1/400 model, since I already have a Boeing 787-8 model in my collection already. I just only have the United 787-8 in 1/200 scale in the Continental globally by Hogan Wings. So now that I finally get a 787-8 model by NG models in 1/400 scale, that should pretty much complete all my lineups for every single 787 variant. So the -9 and -10, and now the -8 is coming into my list. And I have seen some American 787-8s while I was in Dallas already. So really nice to catch those airplanes right there. So you got the Boeing 787-8 tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. Surprisingly, there's no Wi-Fi dome, so NG models had to like fix that. And this model does have the Wi-Fi dome, so glad that NG models did fix that problem. You got the American Airlines tiles right there, the logo in the middle. A very nice representation for the American Airlines livery. You got blue on this side, you got red, and then you got a silver rim, like a silver area over there at the top. You got the NG models logo right there, 1/400 scale, die-cast, 1/400 scale collectible models, die-cast metal. American Airlines logo right there, and the aircraft registration, which is November 880 Bravo Juliet. And this was the aircraft registration that, it's basically the aircraft registration that, wait, was that? Oh yeah. So this particular aircraft was the first aircraft to be delivered to this airline, American Airlines, ever since the Boeing 787 grounding. So that's what makes this aircraft very special. And then you also got the Boeing licensed product right there. Moving on to the sides, I paid $55.99 for this model right there. And yeah, here are all the sides. You got the logo, pretty much the same. You got the back right there, you got the NG models logo, their social media pages and warning hazards. And the item number for this model is 59001, which is of course NG models' first 787 Dreamliner-8 to be exact. So I'm very excited to add this model to my collection, and yeah, it should be perfect for my American Airlines fleet. It's one out of like my first American wide bodies to add to my collection. So there she is right there, looking absolutely beautiful. And yeah, the color looks very interesting. Of course, NG never fails on the American Airlines colors. So, well, the current livery to be exact. But there she is as she comes out. Wow, this is a very pretty model, I might add, in 1/400 scale. So here it is, the Wi-Fi dome right there. So glad that NG models managed to fix that. And yeah, once again, I'm very glad to have my first 1/400 787-8 in my collection. As I set her down and move my tripod, there she is right there, looking absolutely beautiful. man, a nice American Airlines heavy to add to my American Airlines collection. And here's the NG models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. A very nice addition to my American Airlines widebody, and I also have another American 787 Dreamliner that's coming up in this video, but that's on section 2 of this unboxing right here. But once again, it's nice to have my first 1/400 787-8 model, and why not do so for the American Airlines 787-8? So of course we'll start from the port side with the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. You can see a bit of the ray dome outline right there. Of course the 787 Multiple engine models is absolutely beautiful. You got the L1 boarding door right there, along with the nose landing gear door. You also got the L2 boarding door right there. You got your top antenna, and then there's your Wi-Fi dome. Of course that's the thing that they were missing, but thankfully this one came with a Wi-Fi dome, so I'm very happy with that. Then you got the American Airlines billboard tiles right there. Then you also got the, I think these are GEnx engines. So yeah, here are the GEnx engines right there. Of course you got your passenger windows. Maybe this could be like American's business class, and then it transitions somewhere into like premium economy, and then over here it should be like all economy at the very back. So that's that. Here's the main landing gear right there. And of course, love the engine details with the chevron tooth and exhaust right there. Of course you got the engine pylons right there. Looking at some details, so let me just like zoom out. So here's the wing detail. You got the cold sole fuel frost right there. You got some slat detail, forward edge details or leading edge details. Then you got some flight spoilers, ground spoiler detail right there. You also got some flaps and aileron details over there, and then you also got your fairings. Of course, nice trailing edge details for the small right here. Moving on to like close to the very back, let me zoom it in again. Moving on to close to the back of the aircraft, you got the L3 door right there. You got your back antennas and bottom antenna. Yep, there's the bottom antenna right there. Of course, and then you got your US flag right there and the aircraft registration, November 880 Bravo Juliet. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got the L4 door right there. And then you got the horizontal stabilizers and the APU. And of course, you got what leads to like the American Airlines livery with the red and white patterns right there. And the American Airlines tail looking absolutely very nice. So here it is right there. And yeah, the coloring, the gray coloring, I also do want to mention about the gray colors. It's very nice, and glad that NG models nailed the colorings for the American 787. Well, the American Airlines current livery to be exact. So that's very nice. So moving on to like the starboard side of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors right there. Here's your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the aft cargo bin. So here is the big aft cargo bin right there. And now moving on to a top view of this aircraft, so here it is. So here's the top view of the aircraft. Love the detailing. Of course, you got all these extra details. That was something else, so ignore that. Moving on to the bottom section, of course, you got some other details. You got the bottom beacon light right there, as well as your rat turbine door. There's your stand hole right there. Moving on to the front area of the aircraft. So here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice. Not sure if that landing gear is like, yeah, landing gear kind of feels a bit odd. The nose landing gear to be exact, because like it's kind of like moving. But moving on to the back side, here is the back side right there. So yeah, once again, I'm glad to have an American 787-8 Dreamliner in my collection. And yeah, it should be very nice for my American Airlines fleet, since this is one out of the 3 wide bodies that I got for American Airlines during Airliners International. And yeah, a nice addition to my American Airlines fleet. And I do have another American Airlines heavy that I'm going to be going into, so let's get into that. Alright, so the next American widebody is another model that I'm also excited to add to my collection. Now this came out of NG Models March 2023 releases, and it's kind of like a first of its kind for NG Models also, but I decided to go for this model since I've seen these planes in Seattle and DFW. So, as I take her out of the box or the bag, coming into the frame, we have the NG Models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 777-200ER in the current livery. Super excited to add this in my collection. I think this is my first Boeing 777 from NG Models with the Rolls-Royce Trent 800 engine. So, of course, it's a different engine configuration, but I never had like a 777 with Rolls-Royce Trent 800s. I had the Pratt & Whitney and the GE90. So, I think this could be my first, I think. So, really nice to have this model in my collection. And once again, this came from NG Models' March 2023 releases, along with that One World 777 as well. So, you got the Boeing 777-200ER tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got the American Airlines logo right there. You got like pretty much like a different shades of blue, but you also got some whites there. I think this side is where like the One World box would be, but I decided not to go for the One World since I haven't seen the One World 777 as of late. You got the NG Models logo right there, 1/4 scale, collectible models, diecast metal. You got the American Airlines logo right there. You got the Boeing licensed product and the aircraft registration, November 776 Alpha November. And I did see its sister ship, November 777 Alpha November in Seattle-Tacoma International Airport back in September 2021. And it wasn't really much of the perfect photo. I think I got that from my phone, so yeah, it's not really like the best quality as compared to like a DSLR camera, but I'll take that shot. Anyways, here are the sides right there. I paid $57.95 for this model. And here's the side right there, another side. Pretty much the same at this point. And then you got the back with the NG logo right there. Warning hazards over there and their social media pages. And the item number of this model is 72016. So yeah, let's get unboxing to this model. And yeah, once again, really nice to have another American Airlines wide body. There's 3 out of this unboxing, but I think this is my first American 777 to be added to my collection. So that's very nice right there. And there she is, looking absolutely very nice. Let me take out the cradle and the plastic. Well, the plastic is already like built in, or like it's the top plastic. But there she is right there. Wow, this is a very pretty model right here. So yeah, here it is, the American 777-200ER in the current livery, looking absolutely very beautiful. And yeah, really nice to have this model in my collection, like I said. And yeah, another nice addition to my American Airlines wide body. So yeah, there she is, the American 222. Looking very nice, and yeah, it should be a nice model to add to my collection, and it should be perfect for all these, like, I think American Airlines does serve like Europe flights with this aircraft, but yeah, very nice to have this once again. And here's the NG Models 1/4 scale American Airlines Boeing 777-200ER. A very nice model and a nice work from NG Models, and yeah, overall I think this model looks very nice, and of course with NG's 777 mold, it does make this model very superior. So of course we start with the port side and the front. You got the cockpit windows right there, then you got the nose shape of the aircraft, looking very nice. You got the radome, which is like painted in a light gray, so that's very nice. The color of the American Airlines livery is very nice, and I'm glad that NG Models got that color right. You got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. Of course, they are perfectly sized as compared to like the GeminiJets old 777 mold back in like 2016, around that time frame. You got the L1 boarding door right there and the small One World tiles right there, or the logo in this case. Moving on to like this side right here, you got the L2 boarding door. You got the big American Airlines billboard tiles right there, and of course their logo over there. You got the Wi-Fi dome and the top antenna right there, looking very nice. And yeah, here are the windows. I think this could be like flagship first, so somewhere around here could be like flagship first, and then somewhere kind of like around here, this is like flagship business, so that's where all the business class will be laid out. Then there's main cabin extra, which is somewhere right there, and probably all the way like here, all the way to the very back of the aircraft, it's all main cabin products for the seats right there. Moving on to the middle, you got the Rolls-Royce Trent 800 engines, which are very well proportional. And yeah, this is NG Models' first Trent 800 Boeing 777. So really nice on how this turned out, and yeah, glad they got the proportion of the engines right. Also like the detail of the exhaust and like all the detail markings of the engine right there. You got the main landing gear as well. Moving on to some wing detail, let me zoom out. And here's the wing detail. You got the cold silk field frost right there, the outline of it. You got some forward flap detail right there, the slats, leading edge in this case. You got ground spoilers and flight spoilers right there. You got some flapper-on details right there. You got some fairing details and leading edge details, well, trailing edge details, of course, with the flaps, of course. And here are the ailerons, somewhere around here. And they also got some nice detailing on the wing as well, so that's very nice right there. Moving on to the back side, well, not really very back, but close to the back area of the empennage. You got the L3 door right there, and here's like a, I think this is like a weather dome. It's quite smaller compared to the Wi-Fi dome, but I'm assuming this could be like the weather dome. Then you got your bottom antenna right there, and your top antenna right there. Of course, like the antennas are very proportional for a wide body, so that's very nice. Moving on to this side, you got the L4 door right there. Then you got the US flag and the aircraft registration, November 776 Alpha November. And below that, from what I'm guessing, this could be like the ship number of the aircraft. And as I zoom out, as we go through the empennage, so here's the empennage of the aircraft. You got the APU. Of course, as I said, I think the APU could have been done a little bit better, but I'll still take it. I think the APU detail for like NG's 777 mold is very nice. And then you got the horizontal stabilizers right there, and then you got the elevator trim marking right there, and the American Airlines tail. As I focus, there it is. Of course, it's well vibrant, and I kind of like what NG did on the details of this aircraft right here. So yeah, it's a very nice model once again. Here's the front side of the aircraft, looking very nice. And now moving on to the starboard side, of course. Let me focus again on this aircraft. You got the R doors right there, and then you got the forward cargo bin right there, so that's the forward cargo bin. And then moving on to the aft cargo bin, there's two of them, so one right there, and this could be another aft cargo bin right there. And now for a top view of this aircraft, so let me just like set her like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft, looking very nice. Of course, nice detailing with the beacon light, so this is the top beacon light somewhere over there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, of course, some more great details right there. You got like I kind of like on how they engraved like these areas, these parts of the plane, so that's very nice. Well, not really as engraved, but it shows some indications that there's an engraved marking over there. So I kind of like what NG did on this model right here. You also got the rat turbine door and the main landing gear door right there. Bottom beacon light is also right there, and then there's your stand hole right there. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, let me try like maneuver her to the best of my ability. There it is. So here's the front view of the aircraft, looking very nice. And as I go to the back view, here is the back view of the aircraft. So yeah, this is a very nice model from NG Models, and yeah, I'm glad to have an American 777 in my collection already. And yeah, this should be a very nice model, well, as of this video is recording, but I did unbox an American Chrome 777. I got this model before I got the Chrome 777. So yeah, that video is already out on my channel, so yeah, you can go check it out. But other than that, it's nice to have this American 777 in the regular current livery. So yeah, a nice model from NG Models, and yeah, really glad to have this model in my collection. So that'll do it for like the American wide bodies. Now let's go to the international models. Alright, and now we move on to the international airlines portion for section 1 of this mass unboxing. I got two international airlines from that portion, and they're very exciting airlines to add to my collection. One of them is like a well-needed airline for my collection, and let's start off with the first one. So this first one I've been wanting to have in my collection for a very long time. It is a new airline and probably like a critical airline to add to my collection because like I would commonly see this, but yeah, I'm just very glad to have this airline into my collection. And yeah, this should be absolutely perfect for my model plane collection for my international fleet. And that is gonna be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale British Airways Airbus A350-1000. Finally, I now have a British Airways model in my collection. I've been dying to have like a British Airways model in my collection. Well, yeah, kind of like dying to have this BA model. And now I finally have it. And what a way to start it off with the Airbus A350-1000. And I did get this model because I did see a British Airways Airbus A350-1000 during my San Diego day trip back in March of 2023. So yeah, I'm just very fortunate to now have a BA model in my collection. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there, Airbus A350-1000 tiles right there. You got the British Airways logo right there, 1/4 scale die-cast model aircraft. Moving on to the sides. So here's the sides right here, pretty much your typical sides right there. And here's the back side of the aircraft. You got the CGI image of the aircraft taken out with some clouds, as well as you got features right there. Of course, you got their social media pages right there. And here's your 2022 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the under number of this model is GJBAW2111. So yeah, I'm just beyond excited to now have a British Airways model in my collection. And once again, this is absolutely perfect for my international fleet. And of course, let's have a look at that model inside the pamphlet. So as I open up this pamphlet, we're gonna see the model itself. And there she is right there. Wow, looking absolutely beautiful. And here's the description of the Airbus A350, or typically the Airbus A350-1000, as well as the aircraft itself. so you can pause and read whatever you like. And let's get started with the unboxing. So yeah, very glad to have this model. Of course, British Airways is a well-needed international airline for my collection. And yeah, I'm just beyond fortunate to now have it. I might get the 777-200 from NG, and hopefully the Airbus A380 from Aviation 400, because those models are also good as well. But just want to start it off with the Airbus A350-1000 from GeminiJets. And as I take her out of that cradle, wow, there it is, the BA A350-1000, looking absolutely beautiful. Wow, I think this might be my first Airbus A350 model in 1/400 scale, so I'm just very glad to have this in my collection. I also might get an A350-900 from some other airline, but other than that, I'm just glad to have a 1/400 Airbus A350 model in my collection. And she looks absolutely beautiful outside of that box. Wow, what a beauty she is. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale British Airways Airbus A350-1000. Wow, what a nice model from GeminiJets right here. And yeah, once again, I'm very glad to now have a British Airways model in my collection. It is a well-needed airline for my model plane collection, like I said. So let's get started with the port side of the aircraft. So you got the cockpit windows right there, and of course the black raccoon mask. Of course the nice details for the Airbus A350. Kind of like the characteristics or the well-known characteristics of the Airbus A350 right there. You got some pitot tubes right there and the outline of the radome. The nose shape of the Airbus A350 mold from GeminiJets, or in this case this is a JC Wings mold, is interesting. I think it looks okay. You got the nose landing gear door right there. You got the British Airways logo and the British Airways tiles right there. You also got your One World tiles right there. Looking very nice. I'm assuming this could be like business class for BA, so you can see some of the windows are actually like blocked because that's the reason for they have some like business class right there, so that's why some of the windows are actually blocked, which I would commonly see on most British Airways planes. So anyways, you got the British Airways tiles right there. You got like the navy blue, it's like a dark blue bottom right there. And then there's like the logo right there, which is kind of like present. Yeah, it's present right there. So this is kind of like the logo or the crown for the BA logo. You also got your L2 boarding door right there. You also got the top antenna right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got the Trent XWB engines right there with the Rolls-Royce logo. Really nice on how GeminiJets printed that model, well, the logo in this case. Here's the main landing gear right there as well. You got the L3 door and the other top antenna. And what I do like about this model is the landing gear does pivot. So you can see right there, if the aircraft's taking off, it pivots. So, but once I lift it off of the ground, you can see it in a more better view. So yeah, the landing gear does pivot, which is a very nice addition to this model right here. Moving on to some wing detail, let me zoom out. So you got all the wing details. You got the leading edge slats right there and the trailing edge flaps right there. Of course, they're nicely detailed. You also got some ground spoilers and flight spoilers, and here are your ailerons right there. You also got some fairings right there, which they do have like the red tip in there, so that's another nice attention to detail from GeminiJets. And then you also got your engine pylon right there. And here is the A350 winglet right there, if you could try to focus. Sorry, it's kind of like blurry from the port side. But yeah, here is you can see a little bit better on the starboard side, but here is the A350 winglet right there. I think GeminiJets did a nice job on putting the BA logo on the winglet. So yeah, very nice work right there from GeminiJets right there. Yeah, it's very nice. Okay, so moving on to the back section of the aircraft. Here's the back section. So you got I think this is like the Royal Mail logo right there. So I think that's what it is right there. So the Royal Mail logo right there. And here's the aircraft registration, which is Gulf X-Ray WB, or here, let me reread the registration. Well, before I go into the registration, here is the Wi-Fi dome right there, and here's the back antenna, and then you also got the L4 door right there. And here's the aircraft registration, Gulf X-Ray Whiskey Bravo Bravo. Now, I did see Gulf X-Ray Whiskey Bravo Echo in San Diego, so very nice right there. And now moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, we got the APU and the nice horizontal stabilizers, and a Chatham Dockyard tail for the British Airways logo on the tail. And yeah, you also got Whiskey Bravo Bravo, the Whiskey Bravo Bravo registration prefixes on the tail as well. So yeah, that's a very nice addition to this livery. And yeah, so of course, this is a very nice model from GeminiJets. And yeah, very nice to have this model in my collection. Now moving on to the starboard side, you got all the R doors right there. You also got the big cargo bin, this is the forward cargo bin. And moving on to the aft cargo bin, you got the big aft cargo bin right there. And now for a top view of this aircraft, so let me just position her like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft, looking very nice. So you got some details right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, here it is. You also got some nice detail as well. Kind of like hard to see because the bottom is kind of like navy blue. But there's your GeminiJets logo right there, and you also got your stand hole as well. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft. Here's the front section, looking very nice. And moving on to the back section, here it is. This is the back section. So yeah, a very nice addition to my international fleet, as I said a couple of times. Oh, also, here's the aircraft registration on the starboard wing. So it says Golf X-Ray Whiskey Bravo, Bravo. So yeah, a very nice model to my international fleet, as I said. And yeah, British Airways, a model, well, an airline that I've been wanting to have in my collection for a very long time. And I'm just so glad to get one during Airliners International. I think British Airways is pretty much like a well-needed airline, of course, to my model plane collection. And yeah, why not start it off with the Airbus A350-1000? I'm hoping I can get the 777-300ER if either GeminiJets or NG models can make that. I might go for the 777-200 as well, and most likely the Airbus A380 too. So yeah, a nice addition to my international fleet. And yeah, nice that I have British Airways in my collection. The last model from section 1 of this massive unboxing is a very special model. I've been wanting to have this type of model for this airline for a very, very long time. And man, as soon as I saw this at day 1, I was like, I need it. I think it was like the last, I'm not sure if that was the last one in stock or there were like 2 more. But I just need this because it's gonna be like, no words can really describe how excited I am for this model right here. But man, it's gonna be a staple to my model plane collection for many years to come. And that is gonna be the Phoenix models 1/400 scale. Here we go, boys. Lufthansa Airbus A340-600. Man, I am beyond excited to now have an A340-600 in my collection. Not only that, but this is also my first ever Airbus A340 model in my collection. Man, I am just very excited to now have this in my collection. The Airbus A340 is like my second favorite aircraft behind the 787 Dreamliner, but man, I'm just like, no words can really describe how excited I am for this model right here. But man, I'm just very happy to now have an Airbus A340 in my model plane collection. So you got the Airbus A340-600 tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft as well. You got a very nice skyline. This is like the city of Berlin, so you can see the tower right there, along with some other skylines, well, cities or buildings from the Berlin skyline. You also got a nice like navy blue and like red, well, not red, got gold and gray stuff. Phoenix is known for like, Phoenix is not like NG models. Oh, well, of course NG models still has a nice box arts, but Phoenix also has very nice ones as well. You got 1/400 scale right there. The Lufthansa logo and the aircraft registration is Delta Alpha India Hotel Papa. So yeah, as I was saying, NG models, of course they do have nice box designs, but Phoenix models also has those too. You also got like, well, Phoenix would also have like real life pictures of cities and other stuff. And yeah, this box is an example to that, so that's very nice. You got the warning hazard right there. Here's the Lufthansa logo, of course, with the aircraft itself right there. Another side, and here's another side, kind of like similar to like the other side. Here's the back side of the aircraft, well, the box. You got like the Lufthansa logo, and I'm assuming this is like a phone or something. There's a smaller CGI image of the aircraft right there, as well as like the Lufthansa logo, all blurred out. Airbus A340-600 tiles, 1/400 scale, and the aircraft registration. And yeah, but other than that, let's get unboxing to this, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I'm just like, I've been dying to have an Airbus A340 model in my collection, more particularly the A340-600. And what I do like about the flaps, it also features the aircraft registration as well. So you can see Delta Alpha India Hotel Papa. But man, I'm just excited. No words can really describe how excited I am for this Airbus A340-600. Let's open her up and see this model in... Can't wait to see her. Here we go. Yes, there she is. Oh man. Wow. Yes, sir. Wow. Yeah, come on. Come to Papa. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god. Yes. Wow, this is so beautiful. It's so pretty. Oh my god. The aircraft is so long. Let me put this up close, but wow. Oh my god. Yes. Man. Wow, I've been collecting for a very long time, ever since 2021, and I haven't had a single Airbus A340 model in my collection during the start, and that really changes today. This changes today. Man, I am very happy to now have this in my collection. Wow. Oh my god. Yes, sir. Woo, yes. Wow. Oh, let me just move the model closer. Yes. Wow, this is such a beautiful model by Phoenix Models. The Airbus A340-600 mold looks absolutely beautiful, and man, what a way to now have this model in my collection. It was worth it. The purchase was worth it. Man, oh man, she looks absolutely pretty. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Phoenix Models 1/400 scale Lufthansa Airbus A340-600 in their old livery. Wow, this is just, Can I really describe how the Phoenix A340 mold looks like? Wow, this is like absolutely beautiful. Man, Phoenix Models, absolutely wonderful job right here. Man, I'm just beyond excited to now have this model in my collection. So let's get started with the review of the aircraft. You got the cockpit windows right there. You got the nose shape and the outline of the radome of the A340. I think Phoenix Models did a nice job on like the shape of the aircraft. You also got the Lufthansa logo right there and the Star Alliance logo as well. You got the Lufthansa billboard tiles right there and the L1 boarding door, as well as the top antenna. And of course, you also got your Wi-Fi dome, or this is like a weather box or a SATCOM. Kind of like on how it's like molded in the A340 in the like. It's molded into the fuselage, so it's not like a separate part. So that's pretty cool right there. You also got, I think this could be Lufthansa first class, I'm assuming. So maybe it runs through here. And probably like splitting around here, this could be like business class. There's some stack port details as well. You got the gray underbelly right there. You also got the Airbus A340-600 tiles right there. You got the nose gear and nose land gear door with the Hotel Papa prefix for the aircraft registration. Moving on to close to the middle, you got the L2 boarding door right there. There's your bottom antenna. And what I do like about it, it's painted red, so really nice attention to detail from Phoenix Models. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, here it is. You got the L3 door, or the emergency exit door right there. There's your Trent 500 engine, so this will be like, I'm guessing this could be like engine 1 and 2. So here's all like the engines right there. Of course, the A340. I think the A340 has a very unique characteristics in terms of like dual engine or quad planes. It's just like it's not like a 747 or A380 where it does not, like has an upper deck. The A340 is very unique because this aircraft does not have an upper deck. So that's pretty cool right there. And of course you got the Wi-Fi dome. I think this could be like the Wi-Fi dome. And I do like how it's painted gray. I'm not sure if it's like that on the actual aircraft, but it's pretty cool. You also got your other antenna right there. There's your L4 door right there as well. Here's the main landing gear. I'm not sure if you can see it because it's blocked by the engines, but I can like show you a better view of it once I put it on to the backside. Moving on to some wing detail. So here's some wing detail of the A340-600. You got some leading edge details right there. You also got some fairing details, which they're painted gray. So, well, I'm not sure. Are they painted gray? Yeah, they're painted gray. I'm not sure if it's like that for the aircraft, like the actual aircraft. There's your emergency exit line indicators right there. You can't hardly see like any like ground spoiler or like aileron details, spoiler details or anything. So, not sure why, but that's how that's how Phoenix Models does it. You also got some nice engine pylon detail and the cold slow fuel frost well printed nicely on the wing. And yeah, so very nice stuff from Phoenix Models. well, it's not really as advanced as compared to NG, but it's still it's still good either way. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft, you got the back antenna right there. Here's your L5 door right there. You got the Lufthansa.com tiles right there. You also got the aircraft registration. Once again, this is Delta Alpha India Hotel Papa. And you also got the German flag right there. And now moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the APU. It's quite similar to like an A330's APU. APU, yeah. Auxiliary Power Unit, yeah. But you also got the horizontal stabilizers right there, which are very nicely detailed as well. And then you got the old Lufthansa tail with the Lufthansa logo painted in yellow and the parts of the aircraft registration, Hotel Papa. So yeah, a very nice model from Phoenix, and yeah, an A340 model. Wow. Let's see if the engines are straight. Yeah, they're very nice. Well, some can be like pointed upwards, but at least it's not touching the ground, which is a good thing. And now moving on to the starboard side of the aircraft, so here it is. So of course you got your R doors right there. Let me zoom in as well. Yeah, pretty much everything is the same. You got your forward cargo bin right there. And moving on to the back side, you got the aft cargo bin right there. And now moving on to a top section of the aircraft, the top view of the aircraft in this case. So here's the top view of the aircraft, of course. Nice detail as well. Of course you got the top beacon light right there. Not much detail on the top, but when you move on to the bottom, there's slightly a little bit of detail, which is nice. You also got the stand hole, of course. There's the red bottom antenna. Of course, nice attention to detail for Phoenix models. And here's the main landing gear right there. I'm not sure if they pivot, do they? Unfortunately, they do not, which don't know why, but it is what it is for Phoenix models right here. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft. Here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice. Do like the nice ground configuration, ground flex for the wings right there. And of course, there's some amazing turbofan, fan blade detail in this case. Very nice detail from that. And moving on to the back section, here is the back section. And I think the horizontal stabilizers are well glued nicely. Or, well, they're nicely glued, that's what I meant to say. But man, oh my god, wow. Now I finally have an A340 model in my collection, and I had to do the A340-600. I think out of all the A340 variants, the 600 has got to be my favorite. Not sure if they still fly to the US. Well, they do. I think it's mostly in the eastern part of the US, so that would be Boston or New York. But yeah, hopefully I can see an A340 again soon before they retire from the Lufthansa fleet. I mean, I did see one already in SFO back in 2019, but it wasn't much of a good photo for having the aircraft I don't have a certain good photo, but that's all I can make up from that photo from 2019 when I saw this aircraft. Not sure if it was the actual registration, but yeah, at least I did see a Lufthansa A340-600, but I just want a better photo. But other than that, it's nice to have this model for my collection, and hopefully I can represent this model in a future model plane airport. But other than that, I'm glad that I now have a Lufthansa A340-600 in my collection. So yeah, that's pretty much it for section 1, so let's take a look at all the models I got from day 1 from Airliners International 2023. And here are all the models I got during day 1 of the collectible show during Airliners International 2023. A really nice assortment of models right here. Everything from regionals, mainlines, heavies, and internationals. So as you can see, I got a total of 10 models during day 1 of the collectible show. And let's have a look at all these models right here. I think the quality might be different, the camera quality. So let me just try to zoom on them. I do apologize if there's any grain, but hopefully I could try to focus it. So let's get started with my JetBlue Airbus A320 in the spotlight tail with Sharklets. This is by Altitude Models, a very nice model from them. Next up we have the NG Models exclusive JetBlue Airbus A321 in the Prism tail with the R200 aircraft tiles, looking very nice. Next up, we have this Alaska Airlines Embraer E175 in the Horizon Air Retro livery, a very nice model from GeminiJets, and I'm very glad to have this model in my collection. Next up, a perfect model for my United Airlines collection. This Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the Continental Globe livery looks absolutely beautiful, and glad that NG Models has done this model. And yeah, a very nice model from NG. Next up, we have the United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the her right here in New York Livery. Excuse me. Hang on, let me try to like zoom in. Here, I hope this position of my camera is good. But right here we have the United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the her right here, New York, New Jersey livery. And this is the second iteration of this model right here. And yeah, really nice to have this model to complete my her right here collection. Next up, let me just like move my tripod right here. We have the FedEx Boeing 767-300F, a nice addition to my cargo fleet. And yeah, really nice to have a FedEx model in my collection. Moving on to this side, we have the American Airlines Boeing 787-8 by NG models. A very nice model from NG, of course. And yeah, nice to have this 787-8 in my collection. Next up, another American Airlines heavy. We have the Boeing 777-200ER, also by NG models. And it's another nice model to add to my collection and another model to add to my American Airlines heavy fleet. Next up, we have the British Airways Airbus A350-1000, a well-needed international airline for my collection. And yeah, really nice to now have a BA model in my collection, Speedbird in that case. So yeah, a very nice model for my collection and my international fleet. And to pretty much top it all off, we have the Lufthansa Airbus A340-600. Man, do I really need to explain on this model right here? It just absolutely looks beautiful and really nice to now have an Airbus A340 in my collection. So yeah, that is it for section 1 right here. So yeah, let me zoom back out. And yeah, look at all these models right here. So overall, section 1, 10 models, not bad, but kind of like a good start for this, well, collectible thing from Airliners. And we're going to be moving on to section 2 of this unboxing. And section 2, I think I may have gotten more models than day 1. So yeah, I think we should roll into section 2 right now. So without further delay, let's get started with section 2 of Massive Unboxing 10. And welcome to section 2 of Massive Unboxing 10. Now, during day 2 of Airliners International, I ended up getting more models than just day 1 and day 3. So I think I may have gotten like more because I think there were some models that I do want for my collection. So I decided to get them anyway, and here we are. We're gonna unbox them now, of course. Yes, so part 2 or section 2 of Mass Unboxing 10, and of course, we got more models to unbox, so without further delay, let's unbox those models. Alright, so let's begin section 2 of Mass Unboxing 10 with a very popular model within the model plane community. Now, this model came out on the March 2021 releases, and that's like a hint of what the model that is. And this was a model that, like, surprisingly enough, sells out at a very quick pace. Like, when that model was released back in March 2021, it was like sold out so fast. So I ended up seeing one at the vendor tables for model planes, and I'm very fortunate to now have this particular model in my collection. And that is going to be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Connection Bombardier CRJ 900. This is of course the March 2021 releases. This came out on the March 2021 release. And yeah, it's a very popular model. Majority of some people actually like have this model in their collection. And of course, like they like to buy a lot of models. Probably like 5-7 Delta CRJ 900s. I don't know what is going on or like why is that model so popular, but all I can say, I'm just very fortunate to have this model in my collection. I got this model from Flyman Models, which is like a new model plane retailer store. And yeah, a very interesting retailer store, and I would like to buy another model from them. So, you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, Bombardier CRJ 900, you got Delta Connection right there, and the SkyTeam logo. 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft. Here's the sides, nothing too special about it. Here's the back side, you got the aircraft taken off, as well as the guest features right there. Of course, very debatable. Here's our social media pages right there. This is like the Delta licensing product right there, and the 2021 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJDAL 1965. Let's have a look at that aircraft inside the pamphlet. There she is right there, looking absolutely very beautiful. And here's the description of the CRJ 900 right there. You can pause and read. This is a SkyWest operated aircraft, so it has the Sierra Kilo registration prefix at the end. And let's unbox this model. Now, I also want to mention during day 2 of Airliners, like during day 2 of the collectible show, I think I ended up getting more GeminiJets. And yeah, there's some cool GeminiJets models that I do want to add in my collection. But yeah, this model is one of them. And there she is right there, looking absolutely very nice. Now, of course, there's only one defect with this model, and I'll explain it really clearly once I review the model. But there she is right there, looking absolutely very nice right here. Wow. A very nice model from GeminiJets. And yeah, really glad that they released another CRJ 900. Well, it's very unfortunate that some people can't even get it for themselves. But hopefully they can do a re-release of this soon, and hopefully we won't have that same thing. Well, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I just hope other people can get this model in their collection once this model is released again. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Connection Bombardier CRJ 900. A very nice model from GeminiJets, and yeah, once again, I'm very fortunate to now have this popular model in my collection. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the CRJ 900 looking very nice. You got the nose landing gear door right there, and the nose landing gear, and this is the nose landing gear door right there, parts of the registration. You got the Sky Team logo right there, and you got the big L1 boarding door right there, or this is just like the boarding door in general, so you can tell how big it is. So yeah, that's the boarding door right there. You got the Delta Connection tiles right there. Man, it's been a while since I last had a Delta Connection. The last one, like the last Delta Connection I had was that CRJ 200 from the February 2021, not 2021, the February 2022 releases from GeminiJets. You got your 2 cargo bins right there, the cargo doors right there. Of course, with every CRJ in like the Bombardier fleet, the cargo doors are on the port side, so that's quite different compared to other airplanes in their fleet. You got the windows right there. This was way before GeminiJets placed the antennas on the CRJ 900, so you can see why there isn't any CRJ antennas, of course. You got some emergency exit doors right there. Moving on to some wing detail, you got some wing detail from the cold silk. Well, there's no cold silk fuel frost, but you also got some flap detail, aileron detail, spoiler detail, leading edge detail, and here's the winglet right there, looking very nice. And you got some flap detail, trailing edge details right there. You also got your main landing gear right there. I'm going to talk about the main landing gear because there's a defect on this model that many collectors are known for. Here's the engine right there. These are like CF34 engines, I think. You got the US flag right there and the aircraft registration, which is November 821 Sierra Kilo. Moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got the ventral fins right there. Of course, it helps with stability of the aircraft. You got the APU right there, and the Delta Airlines logo, and the horizontal stabilizers on top representing a T-tail. Looking very nice. Now, when I got this model, apparently, I think it was the port engine. The port engine apparently came loose when I first got this from Dallas during the collectible show. But when I went home, I managed to fix that, and yeah, she looks good as new. And yeah, just checking to make sure there's some other like intact stuff. Moving on to like the starboard side. So pretty much is everything, yeah, everything is pretty much the same on the starboard side. Let me focus, there we go. So the only difference is the R door is much smaller than the L door, so you can see how small it is, which is reasonable. I think probably the reason is this can be an emergency door right there. But other than that, everything is pretty much the same. And now for a top view of this aircraft, so let's start off with the top view. Let me take out some little piece of like hair or like some kind of like dust. So here's the top view right there, looking very nice. You got some amazing details from the wings and the fuselage. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, no Delta belly on the bottom of the aircraft, but you got your GeminiJets logo and the stand hole right there. And here's the problem. So as you can see, the main landing gear, they are spacing, like they're put in very close to each other, and like the main landing gear is like on the holes of the, like on where the wheel should go. So basically the main landing gear should be somewhere right there. So that's one defect with the CRJ 900. Well, this mold in particular, that's kind of like a downside. Yeah, that's only like the major defects that this model has. I think there was also like some defects with the horizontal stabilizers, but yeah. But for mine, I mean, it looks okay. Yeah, it looks okay. Everything is like, it's kind of like straight, and it kind of seems accurate, almost. Here's the front section of the aircraft right there. And moving on to the back section of the aircraft. Here's the back section. Oops. So yeah, here is the back section right there, looking very nice. So yeah, I'm glad to have this model in my collection. Of course, I've been wanting, well, Yeah, I've been wanting to have like a Delta CRJ 900 in my collection for quite a while, and of course that model is super rare. Like, I think there's this one instances, well, this sometimes happens on eBay, but whenever a Delta CRJ 900 is put up on auction on eBay, that thing goes for like over $1,000, so it's not worth spending $1,000 on this model right here, rather than just like pay, what, like 55 or like somewhere in that price range, like 50, 40, or 60, I'm not sure, but it's worth spending less than just like spending 1,000. Well, yeah. But other than that, I'm glad to have this Delta Bombardier CRJ 900 in my collection, and it should be perfect for my Delta Airlines fleet. So yeah, a very nice model from GeminiJets. Moving on to the next model, we have another Delta Airlines model plane from GeminiJets, and this is another plane. Well, this plane in particular I don't have in my collection as of yet, but I'm very excited to have this collection, well, this model plane in general. And yeah, it's a very interesting livery. Well, you can like call it livery, I'm not sure, but it's a very interesting sticker. That's a hint for this next model. And yeah, I think this should serve well for my Delta Airlines collection, depending on like the circumstances. But I'm just excited to have this model, and that's gonna be a GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with the World Champion Brave sticker. So, if you don't know what that livery represents, or this sticker, it's basically the sticker that represents like the World Champion Braves. Like the Atlanta Braves, they're a Major League Baseball team. They won the World Series back in 2021, so they put this sticker on this 737-800 to represent that. So yeah, first Delta 737-800 in my collection, by the way. I wanted to like get the NG version, but I did not find them in many of these like vendor tables, so I decided to stick with this for now until I get like an NG. But depending if NG were to do this model, then I'll just like swap that for the NG. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the Delta CGI image of the aircraft in general. Boeing 737-800, Delta Airlines and the Sky Team logo, 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. Sides, of course, are just pretty much the same. The back side, yeah, CGI image of the aircraft. You got clouds right there, as well as gets social media pages, Boeing licensed product, and the Delta Airlines licensing product right there. And here's the 2022 GeminiJets copyright label right there. Forgot on when this model was released. I'm assuming like, I think it's somewhere around late September. I'm not sure, because like it's been a while, because like this is a 2022, or maybe this was released somewhere in 2023. I'm not quite sure on that one. But yeah, and the item number of this model is GJDAL2101. So this is like one of the first models to have like the second model to have like the 21 and then 00. So quite interesting right there. Let's open up that pamphlet, and there's the model side looking very nice. There she is right there, of course. And here's the description of the 737-800. Of course, you could pause and read. And yeah, these are all the information right there. So let's unbox this model. Now, there's already an opening right there, so I don't need to worry. Also, it's been a while, but let me know, well, it's kind of like been a while since I last did this. Well, I did this already from the previous clip, but let me know if you guys want me to do some live cuts. Well, not really live cuts, but just like do GeminiJets unboxings in just one go. So basically review the box and unbox the model, and yeah, there she is. So quite interesting. So this might be my first NG, no, not NG. This might be my first Gemini 7, well, might be my first Gemini 737-800 in my collection, I think. So this is a quite interesting model to really represent that. And yeah, I'm very glad to have this model in my collection. Once again, my first Delta 737-800 has arrived in my collection. And yeah, it should be nice for my Delta Airlines fleet, despite me not being interested in baseball. But other than that, this should be a nice livery for my Delta fleet. And yeah, a very nice model from GeminiJets. And here's a GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with the World Champion Brave sticker. A very nice model from GeminiJets. Well, there are some like flaws with the Gemini 737-800 model that I'm gonna be talking about in this review. So there's some flaws that I do want to talk about. But other than that, it looks pretty nice, and yeah, they did a nice job on the printing. So let's get started with the front section of the aircraft. So as you can see, here it is. So you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the 737-800, which, to be honest with you, it's too pointy, and it kind of looks like this side right here, it just like goes like from here, it starts going to like an increased like angle right there. So it kind of like, it's not like that. Probably should be more like there, and then it should run all the way there. But that's how GeminiJets makes it. You got the Sky Team logo right there. You got the World Champion sticker right there. World Champions Atlanta Braves sticker right there. You got the nose landing gear and landing gear door. Nose landing gear door containing part of the registration of the aircraft. You got the L, or is that the ship number? Yeah, that's probably the ship number. You got the L1 boarding door right there, and probably like a free Wi-Fi logo right there. You got the Delta Airlines tiles right there. You got the windows right there as well, very printed very nicely. And moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got your CFM 56-7B engines right there. You got the main landing gear. You got your top antenna. And then you got the Wi-Fi dome. And this is, I don't know what happened, but GeminiJets somehow, because this particular aircraft in real life does not have like the Wi-Fi dome at the front. So this is not the actual placement for the Wi-Fi dome. Rather, it would be somewhere right there. So I don't know what's the deal with GeminiJets right there, but I don't know why they like decided like put that and not change it, like put it over there. Or like if it was there, then it would have been nice, but that's quite unfortunate. I think they should have double checked on that just to make sure they got the Wi-Fi dome setting right and it's on the right position. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's how it turned out, but I'm not gonna complain about it. You got your emergency exit doors right there, and then you got your blend-in winglets right there. Looking very nice. You got some engine pylon detail as well. Well, not really necessarily detail, but you got some engine pylons right there. Moving on to the wing section of the aircraft. So here's the wing section. You got your emergency exit light indicator. Well, the emergency exit indicators right there. You got your cold soak fuel frost sections right there. Leading edge detail and trailing edge details. You got your flap track fairings right there. You got some ground spoilers. Well, you can't hardly see the ground spoilers, but they're there, as well as the flight spoilers and ailerons. But yeah, once again, they are there. And I do want to mention about that wing, but there's slight wing flex. Well, there's some wing flex on this model right there, so I don't know where to like to begin about that. Also, I think the CFM 56 engines are kind of a little too big. They don't have much ground clearance on them. So as I run my pencil, yeah, it can't hardly like go through like the engine. So these are kind of slightly a little too big. That's what I can say about this model. You got the main landing gear right there. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft, you got your US flag right there and the aircraft registration, which is November 3746 Hotel. And then you got your L2 door right there. Moving on to the empennage section of the aircraft, you got your APU and the horizontal stabilizers and the Delta upward and onward tails. Let me focus it. There we go. So here it is right there. It's well printed nicely though, so I like that. And then you also got the ship number right there. Alright, so moving on to the middle section of the aircraft. Also, I do want to mention about the front. Yeah, I don't know. Clunky nose landing gear and all that. Crooked landing gear, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, this is like a better angle of the wing flex, but look at it. So, yeah, I think the starboard wing appears to have way too much wing flex, so that's quite unfortunate for GeminiJets, but it is what it is, but I'm not gonna really complain too much. There's a little bit of wing flex on this one, but not as like too crazy as compared to the starboard wing. Anyway, so here we are at the starboard section of the aircraft. You got, of course, the R doors right there. You got your forward cargo bin right there, and the aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of this aircraft, so you got the top view right there. So here it is right there, looking very nice. Of course, with some nice details right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, you got the Delta Airlines logo on the belly of the aircraft right there. You got your GeminiJets logo as well, and there's your stand hole right there. And yeah, and some more nice detailing at the bottom section. Here's the front section of the aircraft, of course. Yeah, terrible wing flex, but I don't know what was that, but yeah, once again, terrible wing flex, but I'm not gonna like complain about it too much. But that's how GeminiJets does it. And here's the back section of the aircraft. At least the horizontal stabilizers are placed in proportionally. And yeah, other than those mold defects, this is a very nice model from GeminiJets. And yeah, once again, I'm really glad to have a Delta 737-800 in my collection. And yeah, I'm eager to see if I could try like find an NG 738, or maybe if NG can do like a re-release of a Delta 737-800, that would be nice. But other than that, I'm glad to have this model in my collection, like I said, and it should be perfect for my Delta Airlines collection as well. More Delta Airlines models are coming into the table, and we do have another mainline aircraft, and this small plane from Delta Airlines, I've been wanting to have this model for like a very long time, and I think they released it somewhere in their December 2022 releases, and this was a re-release model of that. And yeah, I'm just very excited to have this model, and yeah, it should be perfect for my collection. And these been flying to like SMF for like a while, probably like somewhere around the winter months, but I'm very excited to have this model in my collection once again. And that is going to be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A220-300. Man, I'm super excited for this model. Now, I've been wanting to have a Delta A220-300 in my collection for a while. And yeah, I already got the A220-100 already, but I do want to like have an A220-300 as well, since there's like more of them in like SMF, especially during the winter time. So, very glad to have this model in my collection. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. Don't need to elaborate too much on this box, it's pretty much the same. Delta Airlines SkyTeam logo, and of course, 1/4 scale diecast model aircraft right there. Sides, of course, the same, and of course, the backside is pretty much the same as well. CGI image of the aircraft taken off, as well as the guest features right there, and all the debatable stuff right there. Social media pages right there, Delta licensing product right there, and the 2022 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the under number of this model is GJDAL 2100. So this is the first model to have like the 21 and then 00. I think the 737-800 that was also in the December 2022 releases, that's like the second one. So yeah, this model was the first. And let's open up that pamphlet. Once again, let me know if you want me to do like more like opening up the pamphlet and then doing a box review in one video. So once again, here's that model right there, looking very nice. And here's the description of the Airbus A220 and this particular aircraft in general. You can pause and read, of course, whatever you like. And let's unbox this model as per usual. So yeah, once again, nice to have a Delta A220-300 in my collection. And pretty much I have most of like the Delta A220 fleet. So yeah, very nice. And as I take her out of that box or cradle, and there she is. Wow, very nice model right there. And yeah, GeminiJets did a okay job on this model. It's a good model, let me just add. But yeah, a nice Delta A220 model in my collection, and yeah, a Delta A220-300 has finally arrived, and yeah, she looks absolutely very, very beautiful in 1/400 scale. So yeah, once again, I'm glad to have this model from GeminiJets. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A220-300. And this is the second release from GeminiJets in their December 2022 releases. Once again, I'm very glad to now have a Delta A220-300 in my collection, and yeah, pretty much all my Delta A220 fleet is already completed, so let's just finish it off like that. So yeah, let's get started with the port side. Of course, you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft, of course. A bit too pointy at the very tip, but it is what it is. That's how GeminiJets made it. You got some pitot tube details right there. You got the SkyTeam logo right there. You got the nose landing gear. Of course, the nose landing gear is too big. It should have been a lot smaller. I mean, like, the Herpa one, while it didn't feature any that much detail, it's more accurate, but like I said, GeminiJets did it, and yeah, it is what it is. And here's the nose landing gear door right there. You got the L1 Boeing door and some other details right there. Some panels like the free Wi-Fi logo. You got some stack port details right there. You got the Delta Airlines tiles right there. You got your top antenna right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got your Pratt & Whitney. Gosh, I forgot what these called. Hang on, let me just like open up the pamphlet again. The engines are Pratt & Whitney PW1500G engines. So yeah, how to like go through that really quick. So yeah, Pratt & Whitney PW1500G engines right there. Looking very nice. Here's your single emergency exit door right there. And then you got the main landing gear right there as well. Moving on to some wing details. So here are some wing details. You got your emergency exit indicator right there. Cold slow fuel frost as well, so this is where it will be. You got some leading edge details, engine pylon right there. You got some flap jack fairings, ground spoilers and flight spoilers right there, and ailerons as well. Looking very nice. Moving on to like the back section of the aircraft. Let me just like zoom it in again. Oh, by the way, before that, here is the nice winglet. Overall, I think GeminiJets did a nice job on the winglet right there. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft, you got the back antennas right there, and you got your Wi-Fi dome. You also got the windows, which are pointed very nicely. You also got the US flag, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is November 305 Delta Uniform. I did see this exact aircraft back in like Sacramento International. I think it was back in 2022 when I got a beautiful night shot of this aircraft right there. And she was parked, I think it was somewhere like gate alpha 12, and yeah, I did got a very nice picture of it while it was dark. And yeah, I did use a tripod, and overall, using the tripod and getting a picture of that plane, it proved to be like nice. And yeah, it ends up getting like nice results of the photo. So yeah, very nice to catch that particular registration right there. And I'm not sure if I saw her the second time, I'm not really quite sure, but I think I may have seen her the second time. But that's the only known photo that I can think of. But if I did see it for the second time, then yeah, that picture would have been on your screen by now. So yeah, but other than that, really nice to see this particular registration once again. Moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, we got the L2 boarding door right there. Then you got the APU of the aircraft right there, and the beautiful horizontal stabilizers. And once again, the Delta upward and onward tail with the aircraft ship number at the very top. So yeah, a very nice model from GeminiJets, and yeah, they did a very nice job on their Airbus A220, and yeah, really nice on how they came up with their own Airbus A220 mold. And yeah, while it's not really the best A220 model in the world, I mean, it looks nice for what it is. So here's the starboard side. Of course, you got your R doors right there, R1 and R2. There's your forward cargo bin, which is right there. And then moving on to the back side, you got the aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me just set her like this. So here's the top view right there, looking very nice, of course with some nice fuselage detail right there, and some wing detail as I mentioned. Here's the bottom section of the aircraft with the Delta Airlines logo on the belly. You also got the GeminiJets logo right there, and your stand hole should be right there. And here's your air intakes. Of course, they're not well printed, well, they're not like molded out, but it is what it is. There's your bottom beacon light right there. Here's the front section of the aircraft, if I can like position her like that. There we go, so here's the front section of the aircraft. Of course, the nose landing gear appears clunky, and yeah, once again, it is what it is. And here is the back section of the aircraft as well. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, once again, a nice mold from GeminiJets, and yeah, their Airbus A220 mold, once again, it's, I mean, like, besides those design flaws, the mold flaws, I mean, it's it's a nice model, I'll add. A nice model from them, and yeah, nice that they did a re-release of the Delta A220 300. Not sure if some of them are still in stock, but I think they should still be in stock because I think GeminiJets did like 1,000 of them, or probably like 5,000. I'm not sure how many Delta A220 300s they produce in 1/400 scale, but all I know is that there's a lot of them. So yeah, really nice to have this model once again, and yeah, a nice component to my Delta Airlines model plane collection. Alright, we're moving on to another Delta Airlines model, and this next model is gonna be a very special one, so get ready to buckle your seatbelts, boys. Alright everybody, this next model is a very special one because I'm gonna be unboxing a brand new mold from GeminiJets. Well, you can call it a mold, but they introduced this new mold back in May 2023, and man, I'm just very excited to have this. I also got this model from that exact retailer that I'm gonna be talking about once I reveal it to you guys. But man, I'm just super excited to add this plane in my collection, this new model from GeminiJets. And yeah, this could be like the first of its kind. Well, I had this particular aircraft, but it's this first variant for this particular aircraft, for this type of aircraft that I'm gonna be getting, well, I'm gonna be unboxing for today's video. So yeah, without further delay, let me introduce it to you guys. That is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale, and here we go everybody, that is the Delta Airlines Boeing 767 400ER in the Ron Allen livery. Man, I am super excited for this model right here. I have never had a Boeing 767 400ER model in my collection, but man, I'm just very excited for this. This is a brand new 1/400 mold from GeminiJets. Of course, they did announce this in their May 2023 releases, and wow, this is super excited for this model. I'm quite surprised. Despite this being their first 767 400 mold, it hasn't been sold out on GeminiJets' website as of recent. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm not sure how many like models they produce, but I mean, it is a hot seller because this is a new mold. I mean, like, Herpa did this before, but they kind of like stopped doing the 767 400 mold, so GeminiJets decided to like do this. So yeah, really excited to have this model, and once again, my first 767 400 model in my collection, and also my first Delta what am I saying? This is my first Delta Ron Allen model in my collection as well. So I already have the original widget livery, so Yeah, really nice to add this model into the lineup. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. Boeing 767-400ER tiles right there, the Delta and SkyTeam logo right there. 1/4 scale die-cast small aircraft. Moving on to the sides, of course, pretty much the same as per usual. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft right there. Hang on, guys. Alright, so here's the back section. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there, as real as it gets. Of course, highly debatable. Not sure how the as real as it gets thing is gonna be like for the 764, because this is a new mold by GeminiJets. He got their social media pages like right there. Boeing licensed product and the Delta Airlines licensing product right there. And of course, this is a 2023 GeminiJets release with that 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And I don't know what happened with this, but there's like a rip, and I'm assuming it came, not sure where it came from, but yeah, that's quite unfortunate for that box. But hey, it is what it is. There's some wear and tear, but hey, I can like tape that after this. So the item number of this model is GJDAL2151. And don't worry guys, this is the last Delta model that's gonna be in this portion, because like I went over like 3 Delta models, and before that, take a look at her right there. Wow, that is a unit. That is a unit. And here is the description of the Boeing 767-400ER. Excuse me. You can pause to read whatever you like. Actually, you can like pause this and then you can read all of this, because this is a new model. So I want you guys to like read it for as long as you like. Well, you have to read the entire description of the aircraft, but hey, I'm just leaving this out just for the sake of it, because I want to make sure I get this quick. And anyways, here we go. Man, I'm very excited. Now, the 767-400, since this is GeminiJets' first 767-400 model, it may come broken, but hopefully, I mean, like, some say that, like, their 764, they came broken, but I'm not sure with mine. I did check, it should not be broken, but I do want to double check to make sure. Oh, yes, I'm holding her for the first time. Oh, this is so good. So I just want to check the wings. Don't want to tug it too hard. That's good. What about the tail? Oh, yes. Wow. Yeah. Let me pull this up closer, but oh my goodness. Wow. That is such a beautiful model from GeminiJets. Wow. Well, first impressions of this model, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Wow. I can't believe this is, this is for real. Wow. Now we have a 1/400 Boeing 767-400 model by GeminiJets, and Panda Mouse is also going to do their 767-400ER mold as well. Of course, with their Delta current Livery 767-400 and the Evil Blue 767-400. I might see if I can try to go after those, but NG is also going to be making a 767-400 model as well. So, it depends on my forte, but other than that, I'm glad to have this Ron Allen 767-400 in my collection. And there she is, the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 767-400ER in the Interim, or commonly known as the Ron Allen livery. Wow. This is a job well done from GeminiJets on their first 767-400 mold, and man, she looks so pretty outside of the box. Wow, I can't believe I now have this beautiful model in my collection. So, let's get started with a review of the box, of course. So, you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the 767 mold. Not the best, but it's kind of like yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not the best in the world, like the best nose shape for a 767, but I mean, it is what it is. But you can see the outline of the radome right there. Then you got some Pitot 2 detail, you got the SkyTeam logo. And this is the red portion of the livery, so it has like just a little bit, so it starts from like the tip of the middle of the nose, and it runs all the way to like close to the L1 boarding door. There's your nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. There's parts of the, well, that's the ship number. And then this is the navy blue cheat line that's present in the Ron Allen livery. So the cheat line would start, of course, all the way through here, and then it would mostly run all the way through like the very back of the airplane right there. Alright, so moving on to the middle, you got the Delta Airlines logo right there, so you got the widget right there, and then you got Delta in like a navy blue color, and then Airlines in like a light blue color. So I kind of like what they did with this livery. You got the metal, like the bare metal underbelly right there, underbelly of the aircraft, that looks very nice. I'll show you like a top view and see the reflectance of that thing. Here are the other panels right there, probably some static port panels right there, maybe. Here's some windows right there. I do like on how GeminiJets printed the windows on this model right here. Here's your top antenna. There's your L2 boarding door right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got the CF6 engines right there. I do like on how they also printed the livery on the engines as well. So you got the red line right there, and then the navy blue top right there, which is very nice. There's no emergency exit doors on the wings, which is really, I think that's reasonable for a 767-400 to not have those emergency exits on the wings right there. There's your main landing gear right there as well. Moving on to some wing details, so let me just pull this up. Here's some wing detail of the aircraft. So you got the cold soak fuel frost right there. You also got some leading edge details. You got some pylon detail, engine pylons as well. Not much on detail on that, but it is what it is. You can slightly see all like the ground spoilers and flight spoilers and ailerons as well. There's your flap track fairings right there, and some flaps, leading edge, not leading edge, trailing edge. You can see more better on the starboard wing, but here's the starboard wing right there. Looking very nice. And here's the rake wingtip, of course, one of the key elements for the 767-400. And I do like on how GeminiJets was able to replicate that on this model, which is very nice. Moving on to like the back section, well, close to the back section, somewhere right there. Yeah, somewhere right there. You got your L3 or emergency exit door. I think that should be like an emergency exit door, probably, since it's a lot smaller. And then moving on to here, you got the L4 door right there. And then you got your US flag. There's your back antenna right there. Not sure if it's like... Yeah, it's perfectly sticked in there. It's perfectly like in there, so that's good. Anyways, here's your US flag right there. And you got the aircraft registration, November 8 to 6, Mike Hotel. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got the APU right there. And the horizontal stabilizers. And of course, this is where the navy blue cheat line ends. So it ends all the way right there. And then you got the Delta Airlines Ron Allen tail or Interim tail with the ship number on the top. So of course you got the Delta Airlines logo, no widget, but you got the navy blue right here, and then you got a slim of red right there. So yeah, this is a very nice, I will add, this is a very nice livery Delta Airlines had back then. And yeah, wish there was a retro livery out of this. Probably like repaint one of their planes in a retro livery, so that way we can see this livery again. But of course, I'm not sure if Delta's ever gonna do that, but that's how they operate. Man, yeah. Anyways, moving on to the starboard side. So here we are at the starboard side. You got your R doors, of course. And then you got your forward cargo bin, which I think you can see it. But yeah, here is the forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on, you got the aft cargo bin, which is present right there. And now let's move on to a top view of this beautiful model. So here you have the top view of the aircraft, looking very nice, of course, with some details. There's your top beacon light right there. And of course, you got some other panel details as well. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft. Let's talk about like the, wow, look at the bare metal chrome reflectance on this model. Wow, I mean like not the best as compared to NG models, but I'll take it. It looks very nice either way. And yeah, GeminiJets did a nice job on replicating that. Anyways, moving on, you got the bottom section of course, and then you got your GeminiJets logo, very tiny. You got the rat turbine door as well, and you also got the main landing gear door as well, and your stand hole. And what I do like about this model is that the air intakes are actually cut out. So like they're the air intake, excuse me. So here are the air intakes of the aircraft. I like on how they were cut out to like real like they were cut out so it can be more like reasonable. It's more visible to see at the naked eye. So yeah, very nice on how GeminiJets did that. And here is the bottom beacon light. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft. Oh, before that, you can see like the nose landing gear door right there. So that's another nice addition to this model right here. Moving on to the front section, looking very nice. The wing flex, there's no like wing flex or anything. Also, this is a two-piece mold, by the way. So quite interesting on how it's just like straight. But yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. And then moving on to the back section, here it is. So here is the back section. So yeah, really nice to now have a 767-400ER in my collection. Well, technically this is my first Boeing 767-400ER purchase. Of course, I got this from Airliners during day 2. But I also do have the United 767-400. Probably you already saw it on Mass Unboxing 9 already. But yeah, but this was my first Boeing 767 model ever purchased. The United 767-400, that was my first time I unboxed the 764 in my video. But under that, we do have this beautiful model right here, and she looks absolutely beautiful in 1/400 scale. And yeah, GeminiJets is Boeing 767-400 mold. It's amazing. That's all I can say. It's amazing. But hey, I'm glad to have this model in my collection. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the Delta Airlines stuff. Now we're moving on to some other airlines I got during day 2 of the convention. So let's get into that. Okay, so now we're moving on to some different airlines this time. Now this next airline, well, I don't know if you can call it an airline. I decided to get this because it was quite interesting. This model came out on the February/March releases for 2023 from GeminiJets, and I'm not sure if it'll serve a purpose for some future airports that I do in the future, but I believe this is a very interesting, and they rarely operate, so they're based out of Las Vegas Harry Reid, so that's a hint for this airline. So just really excited to have this in my collection, although it's not going to have like a certain purpose for my airport updates. But other than that, really glad to have this model, and that is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Janet Boeing 737-600. So this is my first Boeing 737-600 in my collection. I've been thinking about like if NG would like do a Janet 737-600, but I'm not sure if they have the licensing to do that. So yeah. But GeminiJets decides to do this, and yeah, decided to get this during day 2 of the collectibles show. So yeah, here she is right now. So once again, first 737-600 in my collection, which it's very exciting. So you got the GeminiJets logo right here, made for collectors by collectors. The difference between this model is you got this beautiful skyline of the Las Vegas, like the Las Vegas skyline right there. You got the Luxor Hotel. Not sure what other casino resort is that, but you also got like the airplanes right there. So here are the Janet 736s, all parked at their bases. And yeah, it's a very nice background of Las Vegas. And yeah, Las Vegas looks very nice in the night. So you got the Janet tiles right there, Boeing 737-600, 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. And yeah, I do like on how GeminiJets managed to like do this box art. I also want to mention that the entire box is black, so that's very cool. Got the sides right there, of course. You also got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. So here is the Janet 736. Here, of course, pretty much the same. $42.36 was the price I paid for this aircraft. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there, taken off right there with the cirrus clouds, as well as the guest features. Of course, you know the drill. There's their social media pages and the Boeing licensed product right there, and the 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJEGG2169. And let's have a look at that model inside that pamphlet. There she is right there, looking absolutely very nice. And yeah, very nice inside that box. And here is the description of the 737-600, and more particularly the 737 NGs. Well, yeah, there's some parts of NGs, but here's all the description right there. And then you also got the description of the aircraft itself. So yeah, I'm really excited to unbox this model. Well, really excited to have this model, of course, while unboxing it right now. And there she is right there. And yeah, once again, really nice to have a 737-600 in my collection. More particularly this Janet 737, and she looks very interesting. Let me just check. I do want to double check to make sure. Alright, so here she is. Very interesting stuff right here for this model here. And yeah, I'm very glad to have this tiny 737 in my collection. It's I think it might be tiny or maybe like smaller than the 737-700, but just by looking at it, the 737-600 is much smaller than the 737-700 when I look at it. But other than that, it's a very nice model, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Janet Boeing 737-600. A very nice model for my collection, and while it's kind of like a rare model for me and like a miscue model, like a miscellaneous model for my collection, I'm glad to have a 737-600 and a Janet aircraft in general. So yeah, very nice aircraft indeed. They're also known to be Janet's operations are known to be flying government officials to like Area 51. So I would sometimes like call them the Area 51 airline. But yeah, Janet is a very interesting airline. Like I said, it's not really I don't heard much about all their operations. They're operate, but all I know is they just operate out of Vegas to like Area 51, and yeah, it remains a history. This airline does remain a history, and yeah, we haven't heard much about them. But yeah, at least we have a model of them, or at least I have a model of them. So yeah, let's get started with the port side. I'm gonna like do like a full aircraft review, so it just shows the full aircraft because it's a small aircraft. So you got the cockpit windows right there, along with the eyebrow windows. You got the nose shape of the aircraft. I think this is like a JC Wings mold, so quite interesting on how JC Wings does like their 737-600. You got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. I think the nose shape, especially at the very tip of the nose, it ends up being like a sharp edge and it ends up being like a square, like a line. It doesn't have like a certain curve, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, overall, I think GeminiJets, well, in this case, JC Wings did an okay job on their 737-600 mold. I mean, it's not like the Delta 737-800 that I reviewed a few video clips ago in that case. But yeah, it's very interesting right there. You got some Pitot 2 detail, and I think I mentioned about the outline radome right there. But yeah, there's that. You got the L1 Boeing door right there, along with the 737 air stairs. So these would pop out, and then the stairs would like come down right there, which I found very interesting. You also got some stack port detail right there. Here are your antennas right there. So here's the top antenna and the back antenna, the front and back. And here's the red sheet line right there. So it runs all the way from the cockpit all the way to the very back of the airplane. And yeah, I think that's like the signature trademark for Janet. So very nice right there. Here's the CFM 56-7B engines right there. They're painted gray, so it's not like the entire airplane is painted white. At least they got some gray engines on it. Here's the emergency exit door right there. Moving on to some wing detail, as I put her like this. So there's some wing detail. You got the emergency exit indicator right there. You got the cold soak fuel frost, and kind of like it's nice on how they like signify the cold soak fuel frost by applying this area to like painting this area gray. So that's interesting. There's the engine pylon right there. You got some leading edge detail. You got some flat track fairings right there. Excuse me. Next up, you got some. You can't hardly see some spoiler details, but and then like also flaps as well. But they're there. You also got some ailerons right there. Those are the trailing edge. Okay, so moving on to like the back area of the aircraft, you got the L2 door right there, and then you can see the aircraft registration. But the aircraft registration, as I pointed right here, that is November 273 Romeo Hotel. And moving on to the empennage area, here is the APU right there. Let me just like move this a little bit. So here is the APU right there, and then there's the APU door right there. So this is where the APU auxiliary power unit would be, and this is like the intake, the exhaust area. And here are your horizontal stabilizers right there, and a blank 737 tail. So it's just a blank tail, nothing too special, but you also got the dorsal fin right there. And then moving on to the starboard side. So here's the starboard side of the aircraft. You got the forward cargo bin right there. You got your R doors right there. And the aft cargo bin is right there. And now moving on to a top view of the aircraft. So here is the top view of the 737-600. Nice details overall. You can see like the gray painted area more clearly. Of course, that's where the cold soak fuel frost is. But you also got your top beacon light right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft. There is more details, like on the details at the bottom. You also got the air intakes right there. Of course, they're not really like, they're just like painted, or the decal was placed in there, which is quite interesting. You can also see the APU door right there very clearly as well. You also got your stand hole right there and the nose landing gear holes right there. You also got the tiny GeminiJets logo right there. Moving on to the front section, kind of like position it. So here's the front section of the aircraft. I do like on how the wings are like, kind of like close to like its ground configured counterparts, which is very nice. Although I kind of see a little bit of wing flex on the starboard wing, but under that, nothing to complain about. And here's the back section of the aircraft right there. So yeah, a very nice model from GeminiJets, and yeah, quite interesting to have this aircraft or this airline in my collection. And yeah, while it's not gonna have major appearances, like have any major appearances on my model airports, I mean, it should be very interesting. Unless I do like a Harry Reid International Airport update, then I would see this more commonly. But under that, really nice to have this model in my collection. And yeah, very fortunate. It was somewhat of an oddball, but hey, I decided to get it because I never have a Janet 737 before, nor a 737-600 before in my collection. So I'm really glad to have this model. Alright, now we move on to American Airlines airplanes. Now, of course, I decided to get some American Airlines planes because I've seen a lot of them during my stay in DFW. Of course, I've seen a lot of Uniteds in San Francisco and a lot of Deltas in Seattle. but I have never seen many American airplanes in my life when I went to DFW for the first time, and man, there were like a lot of varieties from mainlines, heavies, and regionals. But yeah, it was fun to see all these American planes. So I decided to get some American planes for myself. Of course, you saw some American planes during section 1 of Mass Unboxing 10, but I came back for some more American planes on the next day. So let's get started with a mainline aircraft. Now, depending on how long this model is gonna stay, it's gonna stay in my collection for a while, but unless, well, some retailer would like do this one, then I would replace it with that. But other than that, I decided to get this model anyway, so let's get started with our first American mainline, or probably like the only American mainline in this unboxing. And that's gonna be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale American Airlines Airbus A320 with CFM56 engines with fenced wingtips. So yeah, it's quite an interesting model I decided to get from the collectible show. I think I got this because it's either because I got some models from Flyman Models, I also got some models from DG Pilot, and I also got some models from the Texan Airplane Store. I think this was a DG Pilot purchase for me, so I decided to purchase this model from DG Pilot, and yeah, it should be a very nice model for my collection, unless NG Models does one. So if ever NG Models does an American A320 with this engine and wing lift configuration, then I will replace that in favor of the NG. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. I don't think I need to elaborate too much because I think I reviewed 4 GeminiJets boxes, or probably 5, so yeah, nothing really too special. CGI image of the aircraft, Airbus A320, American Airlines logo right there. Sides, of course, pretty much the same. Back is also pretty much the same as this point, as well as again social media pages right there, American Airlines copyright, and the 2022 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJAAL 2085. Let's have a look at the model inside the pamphlet. So as I take her out, there she is right there, looking very nice. And here's the description of the aircraft. Of course, you can pause and read. It gives you all the description of the Airbus A320 on this particular aircraft. So yeah, let's unbox this model. And yeah, very nice model. Of course, the Gemini A320 mold is quite interesting, and I don't want to go into a full rant about their A320 mold, but other than that, it is what it is. And yeah, and there she is right there. So yeah, quite an interesting model to say the least. And yeah, don't really have any complaints about this model other than all the flaws that you're gonna see when I review this model. But other than that, I'm really glad to have this model in my collection. And yeah, really nice to have an American A320 in my collection. Of course, I don't think I have some Airbus A320 ones from American, but I never got an A320. But other than that, it's quite an interesting model to say the least. Also, I do want to mention, not sure what happened to the I'm not sure what happened to the cradle, but there's an opening right there. I'm not sure what in the world happened. Probably had to do with shipping or something, but yeah, that's quite unfortunate for that cradle, and I think it's present. No, it's not really present on the blue one, but yeah, I think it has to do with shipping. But other than that, at least the model came tagged, and it's perfect. Let's just say that. There's no broken models, no paint chips, so she is good. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale American Airlines Airbus A320. Quite an interesting model for my American Airlines collection, and yeah, really nice to have an American A320 in my collection. So yeah, very nice model, and yeah, quite an interesting model from GeminiJets. Of course, there is a lot of flaws that I'm going to be talking about on this model right here. So let's get started with a review. So you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. Of course, this is one of the problems for Gemini's A320 mold. The nose of the A320 is very pointy, so it almost looks like a 737 nose. So you can see it doesn't go into a curve, except it just goes all the way to a line right there, and then ends it off, does a curve over there, and yeah, it almost looks like a 737 nose. So that's one of the problems I'm noticing on this model right here. And yeah, while I can rant about that problem of Gemini's A320 mold, it is what it is, and I'm not really gonna complain too much. But all I'm hoping for is I hope they can update their A320 mold so the nose shape can look better. You got the L1 boarding door right there, and your tiny One World tiles right there, or the One World logo. You got the top antenna right there. You got some pitot tube detail. You also got some side port detail right there. You got the nose landing gear right there, looking very nice. Then you also got the nose landing gear door. Moving on to this side of the aircraft, so kind of like in the middle. There we go. So you got the American Airlines billboard tiles right there. You got your second antenna right there. You got the CFM 56-5B engines right there. And this is another problem for the Gemini A320 mold. More particularly this CFM 56 engine mold. As you can see, there isn't much ground clearance. And there you go. She is sometimes tail heavy, but yeah. This is another problem for their A320 mold. More particularly the CFM 56 engine mold. So as you can see, it looks like a new engine and it doesn't really have that much ground clearance. So GeminiJets had an older A320 mold that had proportional engine size for the CFM 56 engines, but somewhere around like 2020 or like 2019, it's somewhere around that time frame, or probably it's around way before that, 2018, is when we're noticing some like bigger CFM 56 engine molds. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate that GeminiJets still has not improved on that. And just like for the nose, I hope they can improve the engine size for the CFM 56 5B engines for their Airbus A320 families. The IAE engines, there isn't really much to complain. They're proportionally sized, and yeah, at least GeminiJets is doing good on that one. So you got the emergency exit doors right there. You got your Wi-Fi dome. Not sure what happened right there, but there's like some kind of like chip on the Wi-Fi dome. But I'm not sure what really happened right there, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, you also got your, excuse me, hang on. You also got your main landing gear right there, and then here is the fence wingtip right there. Moving on to some wing detail. So as you can see, here is some wing detail of the aircraft. So you got the coastal field frost label right there. You got the engine pylon. You got your emergency exit indicators right there. You got your flap jack fairings, and you also got some spoiler detail. You can see them nicely, which is very nice. And you got the aileron, so leading edge right there, trailing edge right there. You got some spoilers, of course, and the flaps. And before I move on to like the back side, the color is very interesting. It's not like the 2020 rendition or the iteration of the American A320 with the IAE engines, where the color is just like too dark. This one, I'm currently like having some studio lighting, so it may appear different, but from what I can tell from the CGI image and like when the small is placed in like bright sunlight, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it looks good from what it is, but seeing it, since this is like studio lighting, it appears darker. But I can really say that, yeah, I don't have much words, but other than that, I think GeminiJets has started to improve on their American Airlines current livery colors. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, I think GeminiJets is getting a little bit of improvement on the American colors, well, the current colors in this case, more particularly in the gray section. But yeah, other than that, I think it looks okay. And yeah, depending on the lighting situation, if I were to take this model outside of broad daylight, then it would appear better. Moving on to the back area of the aircraft. So here's the back area. You got the L2 door right there. You got the US flag right there and the aircraft registration, which is November 103 Uniform Sierra. And this is a former US Airways aircraft, by the way. Here's the ship number 103 right there. And then moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the AP right there and the horizontal stabilizers. And the current American Airlines tail right there, looking very nice. And yeah, really nice on how American Airlines did the coloring on the American Airlines livery. Yeah, it looks very nice once again. So yeah, also here's the front section, so you can really tell. Oh, yeah, I hate it when this plane is tail heavy. But as you can see, as I put her like this, you can really tell on how big and disproportional these engines are for Gemini's American A320 right there. So yeah, also I do want to mention one engine appears to be sitting up higher, more particularly the starboard engine, while the port engine sits a lot lower. So that's another fix that Gemini needs to improve on, but yeah, once again, it is what it is. And then moving on to the starboard section, you got the R doors right there, of course. You got the forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the aft cargo bin, which is right there. And now for a top view of this aircraft, so let me just set it like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft right there, looking very nice. You can't hardly see much detail because the aircraft is gray, but you can see the top beacon light right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, you got some other details right there. You got the air intakes right there. You got the beacon light. This is the lower beacon light. You also got your stand hole right there and your tiny GeminiJets logo right there, looking very nice. You also got the A320 tiles right there and then nose landing gear door as well. moving on to the front section. So here's the front section of the aircraft, of course. Kind of appears that the landing gear, more particularly the nose landing gear, appears to be tilted, and of course it's still clunky, but yeah, once again, that's how GeminiJets rolls. And here is the back section of the aircraft, looking very nice. Nothing to complain much on the back, but it looks very nice. Also, the landing gear is, well, more particularly the landing gear is made out of rubber tires, so that's very nice. So yeah, a very interesting mold by GeminiJets, and of course, while there's flaws for the Airbus A320 family molds from GeminiJets, at least American Airlines did a good job on the coloring at least. So that's one thing I can like say yes on, but other than that, this model is okay. I'm not gonna like give it like a good, I mean like it's okay. GeminiJets are known to have these like terrible A320 nose shapes, but other than that, it is what it is, and that's how they like do their Airbus planes. But yeah, I mean like once again, I'll just wait for an NG release on that, and probably I will replace this with the NG version, because like of course NG's Airbus molds, A320 molds, they're better, and yeah, I would like to get one, but I might see if I can try to get that Spirit A320neo, therefore it can make it my first NG A320, because I know I've been getting a lot of NG A320 ones, but it's nice to like get their Airbus A320 molds so I can like see on how their molds look like. So hopefully that's in the future plans. But other than that, I do have this American A320 right here. Alright, moving on to my second American Airlines aircraft for this section of this mass unboxing. Now it's a heavy this time, and in favor of that NG 787-8, I decided to get this model as well. And yeah, another model that I also saw, or this another aircraft that I get to see in Dallas. I also get to see these in Honolulu. Well, I saw one, but I did get to see this aircraft back then. And yeah, I think this model should be perfect for my American Airlines heavy collection. And that is going to be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 787-9. Really excited to have an American 787-9. Once again, I've seen these aircrafts in Dallas, and I also saw one in Honolulu, so getting one would be perfect. And this is my second GeminiJets model with the JC Wings mold, well, more particularly the 787 in general. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this model in my collection, and it should be perfect for my American Airlines fleet. So you got the GeminiJets logo, made for collectors by collectors. Of course, I don't need to like elaborate too much because I already reviewed the box. I gotten over like all these GeminiJets boxes for section 2. Boeing 787-9 tiles right there, American Airlines logo, 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft. If you want to make this quick, sides are pretty much the same. And you got the back of the aircraft, of course, as well as the guest features right there. All these bullet points, their social media pages right there. Boeing licensed product, American Airlines licensing product right there. And then you got the 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJAAL 2088. And let's have a look at the aircraft inside the pamphlet. There she is right there, looking very nice. And here's the description of the aircraft right there, so of course you can pause and read this if you like. Of course it talks about the 787 and this particular aircraft. So yeah, really nice to have this model. Once again, let's open her up. And I'm trying to like think of a story of like, oh yeah, well, don't have like really a story of the American 787-9. But this came out of their January 2023 releases from GeminiJets, along with that World Atlantic MD-80. So, yeah, really nice to have this, and of course the JC Wings mold for the Boeing 787 looks very nice, and there she is. Let me check, of course. I want to make sure that I don't get them all broken. Well, I'm double checking. I already checked them already, but all these models are intact, so why would I? But there she is, looking absolutely very nice. Now, the color does appear different from my standards when I look at this American 787-9. It's not like the Airbus A320 that I got, but it's rather different. But other than that, I'm really happy to have this American 789 in my collection. And once again, this should be a perfect counterpart to my NG American 787-8 that was from section 1 of this mass unboxing. So, there she is, the American 787-9. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Looking absolutely beautiful in 1/400 scale. And once again, I'm really glad to have an American 787-9 Dreamliner. It's a nice counterpart to my American 788 from engine models. Now, before I get into the review of the model, I do want to talk about the color. So, the color is very interesting. Once again, this is like studio lighting, so judging from the color, it's kind of like more accurate almost to like what I have for the American A320. Let me bring back my American A320 from the previous unboxing I did before this model. So as you can see with the American A320, it's quite darker than the American 787-9, so you can tell that it's a lot more grayer. Let me just set it down like this. So as you can see, the gray right here, it's kind of a lot darker. It's much darker than just like the American 787-9, so yeah. Quite interesting right there. I'm not sure what was the deal about this, but it is what it is at that point. And as I bring my American 787-8 from NG models from section 1, you can, I'm not sure if the model, well, the colors for like the American 787-8 or the -9 appears more accurate, but they're almost aligned with each other, so as you can see. Yeah, it's kind of like that, it's almost like close to that grayish color for the accurate American Airlines livery, so quite surprised right there, but hey, at least GeminiJets they still did a good job on the coloring of this model right here. And yeah, it looks very nice. So let's get started with a review now, of course with the port side. Okay, so here she is right there. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the outline of the radome and the nose shape of the 787-9, almost aligned with the NG models version, and yeah, at least it's not like in the older GeminiJets mold, but other than that, the nose shape is acceptable for this JC Wings mold. You got the nose landing gear right there and the nose landing gear door right there. You got the L1 board door and a tiny OneWorld logo right there. You got the American Airlines billboard tiles right there, excuse me. You got a pitot tube right there, and you got some sag ports right there. You got the top antenna right there also, and then you also got the brown radome, which is quite interesting. Kind of like almost in line, kind of like nearly blends in with the gray for this livery right there. You also got the L2 boarding door right there, and here is the, I think these are GEnx engines. So yeah, quite interesting. This one appears to have no ground clearance. I'm not sure if it's like that, or maybe that's how the mold was being represented here, but other than that, it is what it is, but don't really have complaints too much on this model. Either way, it is the JC Wings mold, so it's kind of more accurate than just like the older GeminiJet 787 mold. You also got the nose landing gear right there, looking very nice. Moving on, well, not the nose landing gear, what did I say? I meant to say the main landing gear, whoopsie. Alright, moving on to some wing details. So you got some nice wing detail, you got the engine pylon right there. You also got some leading edge details with the slats. You also got the cold soak fuel frost right there. Of course, this is the cold soak fuel frost area, so this is where this area gets heated to like melt the ice. You also got some spoiler detail and aileron detail right there. You also got the flap track bearings right there and the flap detail, the leading edge. Not leading edge. Why do I think of the leading edge sometimes? I meant to say it is the trailing edge area, so yeah, very nice. Moving on to the back area of the aircraft, you got the L3 door right there, looking very nice. And the windows are also very printed as well, so that's another nice plus for this model right here. And then you got the L4 door right there and your back antennas. You also got the US flag right there and the aircraft registration, November 835 Alpha November. Connor McCauley or Red River Aviation got a chance to flew on this registration from Dallas Fort Worth International Airport to Miami International Airport back in that was back in January 10th, 2023, so somewhere around the start of the year, and he had a very fun experience flying on his first 787 aircraft, and yeah, really nice for him. And yeah, I wish I could fly on a 787 in the near future, but it might happen, who knows. And if you want to check out his trip report on that aircraft, then you can check it out on his channel right there. He probably already like uploaded by now, so yeah, you can check it out. Moving on outside, you also got the empennage of the aircraft right there. Excuse me. You got the 787 APU right there, the exhaust right there, looking very nice. And then you also got the horizontal stabilizers right there. And then you got the American Airlines tail. And yeah, very well printed on this model right here. So yeah, it looks very nice, and I do like the coloring of the tail right there. And I also do want to mention about the chevron tooth with the engine, of course. Very nice engine. I do like on how they added like the chevron. I like on how the chevron tooth is represented right there. You also got that rim right there. And then you also got the exhaust right there, which of course, I think it looks very nice on this model right here. You also got some nice engine fan blades right there. Very nice stuff right here. And now moving on to the starboard area of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors right there, R1, R2, R3, and R4. but you also got your cargo bin right there. This is the forward cargo bin. And I think, is this like another detail on the engine? I'm not really quite sure. Let me focus on it. Yeah, it's somewhere right there. There's probably another panel detail for the engine right there, so quite interesting. Moving on to the aft area of the aircraft, you got your aft cargo bin right there. And now moving on to a top view of the aircraft. So here is the top view of the aircraft, looking very nice. So of course you got some nice engine detail. Quite interesting on how there's no beacon light. Well, there's like a red area in the beacon light. Rather than that, they just have like a clear area to really represent beacon light. So quite interesting right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, there's that clear area representing the bottom beacon light, which I think is very interesting on how GeminiJets was able to do that. You also got the rat turbine door right there. You got your stand hole and the main landing gear door, as well as the nose landing gear door right there. You also got the 787 tiles right there. And then you got the small GeminiJets logo right there. Well, you could say small, but this is a big aircraft, but yeah, I can still see it though. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, so here it is. Kind of like the ground effects configuration, quite a little bit unnoticeable, but you can see like not the starboard, but the port wings has slightly a little bit of wing flex, while this one appears to have its ground configuration. So quite interesting right there. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, here it is. So here is the back area of the aircraft. So yeah, a very nice model from GeminiJets, of course, with their JC Wings 787 mold. I'm really glad to have this model in my collection, and yeah, she looks very nice. Of course, this is my second GeminiJet 787 with a JC Wings mold. The first one I had was that Turkish 787. And yeah, both models are nice, and yeah, this is another nice addition to my GeminiJets collection for the 787s and my 787 collection overall. So I'm really glad to have this American 789 in my collection. Alright, we got two more GeminiJets models to cover for this section 2. And we're gonna start off with a rather different airline. This is another freighter. Well, I'm not sure if you can call it a freighter aircraft, but yet again, this is another aircraft that is like a freight company, but it also provides charter flights. And this was from, I'm not sure what release was this from. I couldn't remember, but it's a 767, so I decided get this model because I've seen an aircraft like that back in Seattle back in 2022, December 2022 to be exact. So I decided to get this model anyway, and yeah, it should be very interesting for my model plane collection, and hopefully I can feature this model in a future airport update. And that is gonna be the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Atlas Air Boeing 767-300ER. So, about the 767-300ER from Atlas Air, they are not a freighter aircraft. There's no Atlas 767 that is a freighter airplane. So most of these airplanes do charter flights. So yeah, while Atlas Air has their 747s, of course they operate charter and freighter, their 767 fleet is the only aircraft that operates all these charter flights. So charter flights from Asia, Europe to America. So yeah, that's how Atlas Air operates their 767, so I decided to get one since I saw one. Well, this is the one with winglets. I saw one without winglets, so it's quite interesting right there. And yeah, really nice to have Atlas Air in my collection for the first time. So, you got a very different GeminiJets logo. You got the GeminiJets 25th anniversary logo right there, which this is my first model to feature this logo right there. So, very nice right there. So you got the 25th anniversary logo, you got the GeminiJets logo, you got 1998 to 2023. Of course, 1998 is the year GeminiJets began. And yeah, of course, GeminiJets is celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, so that's very nice. Well, it's kind of close to the end of the year. This might be coming out somewhere around by Q4 December, so yeah. Made for collectors by collectors right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, Boeing 767-300ER tiles right there, Atlas Air tiles right there, the logo. 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. You got the size right there, of course, pretty much is the same. And then the back is pretty much the same at this point. You got the aircraft taken off. You got the as well as it gets featured right there. Bullet points, their social media pages, the Boeing licensed product, and the 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJGTI 2166. I think this came out somewhere around the May 2023 releases. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I got this model, and this came out under May 2023 releases. So let's open up that pamphlet. There she is inside, looking absolutely beautiful. And here's a description of the 767. And yeah, you can pause and read. everything is all listed here. Yeah, it's a very nice aircraft. So let's unbox this model. So yeah, very nice model, and once again, first Atlas Air model in my collection. So how about another airline to add to the table? And let me just take out all the cradles and all that. Now this is another one-piece mold, so there she is right there, looking absolutely very nice. And yeah, GeminiJets on their 767 mold, it looks very nice, and yeah, once again, I'm really glad to have another 767 in my collection, and yeah, of course, NG is gonna be like doing their 767 mold in the future, so hopefully I can try to get an NG 767 so I can excuse me, kind of been talking a lot, but hopefully I can get an NG 767 mold to compare some of my GeminiJet 767s. But other than that, I do have this beautiful Atlas Air tail with this Atlas Air livery for the Boeing 767, and yeah, it should be perfect for my collection. And here's the GeminiJet 1/400 scale Atlas Air Boeing 767-300ER. Once again, it's a very nice model from GeminiJet, and yeah, glad to have this Atlas Air 767. I originally was gonna think of the 747, but hopefully I can get an Atlas Air 747 in the near future. And yeah, I'm really glad to have this model in my collection, and it should be perfect to really represent charter flights for Roseville International. So let's get started with a review of the box. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the 767, which looks very nice. You got the, well, you can say it's an L1 boarding door. Yeah, it's an L1 boarding door. So you got the L1 boarding door right there, you got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door right there. What's clever about the 767 is there's like a lever that you're seeing here, so you got some pitot tubes and sag port details right there. But what's clever about the 767 doors is that there's a lever right there, and rather than just having the aircraft like have its doors open like this, it opens all the way up, so you don't really see like the door anywhere. So I kind of found it quite fascinating for the 767 design, so that's very cool right there. Moving on to this side of the aircraft, we got some windows right there which are printed very nicely. So good job GeminiJets on that. You got the Atlas Air tiles right there, the big Atlas Air billboard tiles right there. You got your top antenna right there, and here's the CF6 engines right there, looking very nice. Of course, it's well proportional and it has enough ground clearance right there. It has a lot of ground clearance actually, so yeah, that's very nice right there. You also got the main landing gear over there as well. Moving on to some wing detail, of course, you got the emergency exit indicators right there, represented right there. You also got this gray area, which is the cold soak fuel frost right there. So another instances where this area is painted gray to represent the cold soak fuel frost, or CSFF. And here's the engine pylon right there, looking very nice. You also got some ground spoiler and flight spoiler detail. You also got the aileron and your flap track fairings right there, and leading edge, all the slats, and trailing edge with all the flaps, looking very nice. Here's the gray winglet, not gray, what am I saying? This is the navy blue winglet, so here is the navy blue winglet, looking very nice. And then moving on to before we move on to the back, here are your emergency exit doors right there. Hang on, let me zoom in again. Okay, there we go. So here's the emergency exit doors right there. Now we're gonna move on to the back area. So here is the back area of the aircraft. So you also got your windows right there, and this is where like the livery starts. Of course, it begins. It's kind of like a Euro white livery. So there's the blue right there. You got the Boeing 767-300 tiles right there, 300ER tiles, excuse me. Boeing 767-300ER tiles right there. You got the US flag right there and the L2 door. And then there's your aircraft registration, November 649er Golf Tango. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got the APU right there. Let me zoom out real quick. There we go. So you got the APU right there and the horizontal stabilizers, and the Atlas Air tail with their logo right there. So yeah, look very nice. And of course, it's also printed nicely on this model right here. So great job GeminiJets on that one. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors, so you got the R1 and R2 door. And then you also got your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the back area, you got the aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view, so let me set her like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft, looking pretty nice. I do like the top details right there from the red beacon light and all the other details right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, here's the bottom. So I do like the underbelly details as well, from the air intakes, the main landing gear doors, excuse me, and the tiny GeminiJets logo right there. Of course, this aircraft is a one-piece mold, which I'm hoping GeminiJets can fix their 767 mold and have the two-piece wings on this aircraft right there. Moving on to the front section, here let me just hold for the wings. So here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice. I do like the ground flex configuration on this plane right there. Let me just also started like this, so you can explain. I can like explain why is that. So yeah, here's the ground flex configuration of this airplane right there. And moving on, we have the back section right there, so looking very nice as well. So, really nice to have an Atlas Air 767. I'm hoping I could try to get an Atlas 747 in the future, but since I seen an Atlas M6, I decided to get this one from the convention, and overall, it should be a very nice model to add if I were like, what is that? Like, oh yeah, if ever I would like to have like charter flights from the military, so yeah. Mainly, they would like operate some charter flights for the 76. Like Atlas Air would use the 767 for charter flights, so I might use that just in case. But other than that, it's a nice model and nice to have another 767 in my collection. Alright, this next model I am super excited to add to my collection. It is another international airline, and this is a model that I've been wanting to have in my collection for a very long time. And I'm just very fortunate to get this model from DG Pilot. I think one of the models that I mentioned in like Section 2 were from DG Pilot, and I think the American A320 was one of them, the A320-300 from Delta is one of them, but this is another I got from DG Pilot, and I'm just super excited to have this in my collection. Once again, another new international airline, and that is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Man, I'm super excited to have this model. I've been wanting to have a Qantas model for like a very long time. And yeah, Qantas, they are like pretty much a big player here in the US. They've been traveling to like some destinations in Europe and the US. More particularly, LAX and San Francisco is where Qantas would fly. But very fortunate to have Qantas in my collection, and it should be a perfect addition to my international fleet. So, you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, Boeing 787-9. Qantas tiles right there, and I do like on how GeminiJets designed this box for the Qantas model. So it's basically like an all-white box, and then you have some red outlines right there, which is very nice. 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft. Here are the sides right there, and pretty much the same as usual. And here's the back section of the airplane right there, well, the box in general. You got the CGI image of the aircraft taken off, as well as you get features right there. You got the social media pages right there. You got the Boeing licensed product and the Qantas licensing product right there. And then you got the 2021 GeminiJets copyright label right there. So I'm assuming this model was made somewhere in 2021. Not sure what year or what month to be exact, but it's made in 2021. And the other number of this model is GJQFA 1995. Let's have a look at that model inside the pamphlet. So let me just open her up. And there she is. Wow, looking absolutely very nice. And here is the description of the 787-9 in general and this particular aircraft. So of course you can pause and read whatever you like. And let's get unboxing to this model. Now, I think I unboxed the model like when I take it out to inspect it. I think I may have opened it on this side. So yeah, it's like an easy open right there. So let me just take her out like so. And there she is. Looking absolutely very beautiful. And of course this is in the JC Wings mold, so I should expect this model to have 2 pieces of winglets. And there she is. Wow, what a beauty right there, ladies and gentlemen. First Qantas model in my collection. Let me zoom in closer. Wow, that looks absolutely beautiful. Once again, I'm very fortunate to finally have Qantas in my collection. A well-needed international airline, just like British Airways. And yeah, she looks absolutely very nice. And yeah, the JC Wings mold looks absolutely wonderful. And I think GeminiJets did a wonderful job on making this model in 1/400 scale. Once again, really glad to have Qantas in my collection. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Man, she looks absolutely beautiful in the scale. And yeah, once again, I'm very happy to have a Qantas model in my collection. And yeah, this is a very critical airline to add to my international fleet. So I'm very happy for it. So let's start with the port side. You got the cockpit windows right there. Of course, the nice Boeing 787 nose shape for the JC Wings mold. So yeah, very nice that JC Wings did a good job on it. You got the outline of the radar right there. You got some pitot tube details. You got the nose landing gear, nose landing gear door, containing part of the registration right there. And then you got the name of this aircraft along with their RU logo. You can't hardly tell what name of this what the name of this person is or the name of this airplane, but it's there. You got the L1 boarding door right there along with your one world tiles right there. Then you also got the L2 door with that same one world logo over there. You got the Qantas billboard titles, of course in their current billboard titles. Well, it's still in the same livery. This is pretty much like the revised Qantas livery. I think they debuted this livery back in like 2016, so it's kind of like around that time frame. So yeah, very nice right there. You got the Spirit of Australia tiles right there. You got the top antenna right there, so here it is right there. There's your GE and X engines, and surprisingly, I don't know what happened here, but this one appears to be sitting very low to the ground. So as you can see, there isn't really much ground clearance, as she just like, that engine is like very low to the ground. But what I can say, at least there's some nice detail of the engine with the exhaust and the chevron tooth design. So yeah, very nice right there. Yeah, you also got the windows right there, which are printed very nicely as well. And then there's your main landing gear right there. Moving on to some wing detail. So let me just zoom her out like this, and pull it to her like this. Pull out the model like this. So you got the cold sole field frost detail right there. You got the leading edge detail with the slats. You also got the rake wingtip detail right there. And then you also got some ground spoilers and flight spoilers. And then you also got your aileron right there. You got some flap track fairings right there, and the trailing edge with the flaps. So yeah, that's very nice right there. Nice detailing from GeminiJets on that part. Moving on to the back section of the aircraft, you got the L3 door right there. You got the Dreamliner tiles right there. And then you got the Australian flag right there, and you got the aircraft registration, which is Victor Hotel Zulu November Kilo. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, this is where the livery starts. So you got that silver rim right there, that tiny silver, and then it leads all the way to the red. So yeah, that's how the Qantas livery is designed. You got the L4 door right there. And then moving on way back at the empennage area. So you got the 787 APU exhaust right there, looking very nice. And then you got your horizontal stabilizers as well. And the Qantas tail with that beautiful kangaroo logo right there. Of course, this is like their current kangaroo logo, as this is like more of a silver rear, like a streamlined design for the kangaroo logo, excuse me. And then you got November Kilo right there, which is part of the aircraft registration. And now, moving on to the starboard side, of course, with all these beautiful engine fan blade details, and at least JC Wings did a good job on that. And yeah, here we are on the starboard side of the aircraft. So, of course, you got your R doors right there. Nothing to pretty much go over about. You got the forward cargo bin right there. And here is the R engine right there. So, as you can see, this one kind of sits a little bit okay, as you can see. I think this engine is a lot more better than just the port engine, but yeah, it is what it is, and I don't really need to complain much right there. And moving on to the aft area, here is the aft cargo door right there. And now moving on to a top view of the aircraft. So here is the top view of the aircraft right there, looking very nice. Of course, they also have that silver detail, that silver beacon light, that gray to really represent the airplane's beacon light for the top. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, let me just scoot her like this. So as you can see, this is a two-piece mold, of course, very nice for the JC Wings 787 mold. So you got the Qantas billboard tiles on the belly right there. You got the GeminiJet logo right there. You also got the rat turbine right there. And how about this? They actually like molded the air intakes. So you can really see the air intakes right there. They're not like printed, rather than they're just molded into this model. So that is very nice right there. And yeah, you got your stand hole right there as well. And then you got the aircraft registration on the port wing. Victor Hotel, Zulu November Kilo, which is kind of like typical for all international airlines to have that. All except for US registered airlines in that case. Moving on to the front section, let me just like try to reposition my hand so it can show. So here's the front section of the aircraft. I think this port wing does have slight wing flex, but yeah, once again, I can't really complain too much right there. At least the nose landing gear is very nice, and the starboard wing appears to be more accurate. And then here is the back side of the aircraft right there. So yeah, once again, I'm very happy to now have a Qantas model in my collection. And yeah, really nice to have this. Of course, it is a particular airline that I do want to add in my collection. And yeah, Qantas, they should be making some very interesting appearance once I get my international terminal for KRVL started. And yeah, once again, Qantas is a very interesting airline. Of course, it's been 4 years since I last saw Qantas. Of course, I did see them for the first time back in Dallas, and it was in Founders Plaza by Wave during the night. And I also saw her again when I was on the Skylink going back to Sacramento. So yeah, very nice to see Qantas again, and yeah, really nice to have this model to really represent seeing Qantas in DFW. Alright, the last model from Section 2 of Master Boxing 10 is not a GeminiJet, but rather an NG model. I know I've been going through a lot of these GeminiJets for this portion of Mass Unboxing 10. I think day 2 was pretty much a year I mostly got a lot of Gemini jets, but I decided to go for this NG model, and this model should be perfect for my model plane collection, especially for this airline. And yeah, I do have something similar to this, but I decided to get this at the collection, or the collectibles show, just to replace this model. And that's gonna be the NG models 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A321neo LR with the streamer's tail. So if you guys are curious, I did have like the Panda version of this model right here. However, I ended up selling that model because like I think this is just the perfect replacement. So while the Panda version is good, if I want a very superior NG, like a superior A321 streamers model, then the NG version takes the cake. So yeah, really glad to have this model, and yeah, it should be very nice for my JetBlue collection. So let's get started with the box review. You got the Airbus A321neo tiles right there. You got the JetBlue logos right there. So here's the one at the top. Here's the one at the bottom right there. Here's a CGI image of the aircraft right there, and then you also got some nice artwork of the streamers logo. Well, the streamers. So yeah, you got this one right here. That's a streamer right there. Another streamer right there, and another streamer right there. Kind of like a little bit sneaking into like the picture right there. You got Joel Peterson, excuse me. You got the name right there. This is Joel Peter. Excuse me, jeez. Let me read this slowly. So the name of this aircraft is Joel Peterson. So yeah, very interesting name. And then you also got the Mint logo right there. You got the JetBlue tiles right there, and then you get the NG logo, 1/400 scale collectible models, die-cast metal. Don't know why I can't talk for some reason, but yeah, it is what it is. And the registration of this aircraft is November 4022 Juliet. Moving on to the side. So here's the side. I paid $48.95 for this model right here. Here's another side. And yeah, pretty much the same at this point. And here's the back section of the model, well, the box. You got the edgy logo, the CGI image of the aircraft. And then, of course, with the warning hazards right there and their social media pages. And the item number of this model is 13062. So yeah, once again, really nice to have this model in my collection, and it should be perfect to replace my Panda version of this exact aircraft. So let's get into the unboxing, and there she is right there. And of course, take out all this stuff and take her out of that cradle. Wow, very nice right there. And as I do check the wings, and we should be good. And there she is right there. Wow. Very nice job from NG Models right here. And of course, this model came out in, I think it was the February 2023 releases from NG Models. So yeah, once again, I'm really glad to have this beautiful model in my collection. And yeah, she looks absolutely very perfect in 1/400 scale. The NG version has got to be the best one by far. Of course, once again, there's like the Gemini and the Panda version, but I think the NG Models version takes the cake. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A321neo LR in the streamer's tail. Looking absolutely very beautiful in 1/400 scale. And once again, NG Models did a wonderful job on this model right here. And yeah, really appreciate the efforts on this Airbus A321 model. So let's get started with the port side. Of course, in the front, you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. Of course, much better than the Gemini. As you can see, it's very well rounded out. You got the outline of the radome right there. You got some pitot tube detail right there, and then you got the name of the aircraft. Once again, this is Joel Peterson right there. And then you got the tiny Mint logo right there. You also got some stack port details right there. You got your top antenna and the nose landing gear right there. And then you also got the nose landing gear door containing part of the registration of the aircraft. You got the L1 boarding door right there and the Fly 5 logo right there. And then you got the big JetBlue billboard tiles right there. And then moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got, of course, the windows right there. Of course, I think this could be like the Mint business class, so it might be running from here, and this can be all like economy stuff, like economy premium, and then just regular economy. And then moving on to the engines, I think these are Pratt & Whitney engines, so like the Pratt & Whitney PW1000 engines, I think. So as you can see, that's the engine right there. And how about this? Of course, very nice ground clearance on their engine, on the engine right there. Let me just like, yeah, that looks very nice. So here is what it looks like right there when I put it up like this. So yeah, great work NG Models on like getting the engines on the right sides, like the right size for the engines. You got the main landing gear right there, and of course you got your emergency exit doors right there. Moving on to some wing details, so let's just put the aircraft like this. You got some wing details from the cold slope fuel frost, ground spoilers, flight spoilers, ailerons, flap track fairings, leading edge slats, and trailing edge flaps right there, looking absolutely very nice. And then there's your emergency exit indicator right there, looking very nice as well. And how about some nice engine pylon detail? And as I set the aircraft back aside, let's have a look at that winglet. So, as you can see, let me just set her like this. So as you can pretty much see, let me see if my hand can focus on that winglet right there. Let me just do that. So as you can see on the winglet, not sure if it worked, but as you can see, in the inner winglet, it has the streamers pattern, while in the outer winglet, it's just a navy blue. So that's kind of like the difference from each winglet right there, looking very interesting to say the least. Moving on to the back area of the aircraft. Moving on to like the bottom antenna, so here's the bottom antenna right there. And here are the back antennas right there, and then you got your Wi-Fi dome. There's your L3 door right there, or probably like this could be the emergency exit door right there. And then moving on to like the very back, you got the L4 door right there, and then you got the aircraft registration once again, November 4022 Juliet, and then you got the US flag right there, which it appears that the US flag appears to be smeared off. I'm not sure what really happened there, but like it's just like smeared off. It doesn't show like the actual flag itself. But I don't really mind too much. Either way, it can't be like if I'm looking at the aircraft at a far distance, I don't really see it that much, but when I pull it up closer, then you can see just like there's like a smear over there. So quite unfortunate right there, but it is what it is. Then you also got the Airbus A321 Neo tiles right there. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, let me focus it again. You got the APU and the horizontal stabilizers right there, and the JetBlue streamer's tail looking very nice. And yeah, I love this saturation of the colors right here. And she also managed to like get the printing right. So you got the JetBlue tiles right there, looking absolutely very wonderful. And yeah, and I also do want to mention about the engine fan blades, which of course they are proportional. And yeah, very nice as well. I know there isn't that really much detail, but this is what they can make out of. But yeah, I'm not really going to complain about that. NG did a wonderful job on the engine fan blade details right there. And now moving on to the starboard side of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors, but you also got your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the back area, you got the aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me set her like this. So here's the top view of the aircraft, looking very nice, of course with some beautiful detailing right there. Moving on to the bottom section, you got the blue underbelly right there. And then you also got some nice detail, which I'm not sure if you're seeing it on camera. I mean, you can see a little bit of like underbelly detail right there, but you also got your stand hole right there. And yeah, looking very nice. And moving on to the front section of the aircraft, here it is. So here is the front section of the aircraft. And of course, the nose landing gear looks very nice and not too clunky. And then moving on to the back section of the aircraft, here it is right there. So overall, this is a very wonderful model from NG Models. And yeah, really nice that they're doing another JetBlue model. Well, this came out of their February 2023 releases. So yeah, a very nice model from them. And yeah, I also do have the ribbons tail from Mass Unboxing 9, so you should already see that right now. You already saw it on that Mass Unboxing. But other than that, it's also nice to have the other one from the February 2023 releases, the streamer's tail. So yeah, very nice to have all those models from the February releases. And yeah, this is also a very nice model from GeminiJets right there. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the models from Section 2. Now let's line them all up. And here are all the models from Section 2 of Mass Unboxing 10, looking absolutely very nice right here in this beautiful lineup. So I counted up a total of 10 models. Well, what you're seeing in this video, there are a total of 10 models. However, I ended up buying 11 models on day 2 of the collectible show. There is one model that's missing in this video, and it's a Boeing 757, because like I also ordered that during the collectible show. However, I did not feature this. I featured it in a separate video for like a mall unboxing instead. So you should see that video that's coming on your screen now, but I'll make sure to feature that model at the end of this video, end of this mass unboxing. So let's get started with each Let's get started with each model one by one. So we're gonna start here with this Air Canada Express Bombardier CRJ 900, and I do apologize if the audio is different, but here is the Air Canada. Okay, here we go. So here's the Delta Connection Bombardier CRJ 900, a very popular model from the monoplane community. And yeah, I'm really glad to have this model in my collection. Oops. So yeah, I'm really glad to have this Air Canada. Why did I think of Air Canada in their CRJ 900? It's the Delta Connection CRJ 900. So really glad to have this CRJ 900 in my collection. Next up, we have the engine models JetBlue Airbus A321neo LR in the streamer's tail, looking absolutely very nice. And yeah, really glad to have this model in favor for the Panda version. And yeah, looking absolutely very nice. Here's the GeminiJets Delta Airbus A220 from the it's December 2022. So this was the model from December 2022. So really glad to have this model in my collection. So I now have the A220-100 and A220-300. Moving on, we have the Delta 737-800 with the World Champion Brave sticker right there for the Major League Baseball. And yeah, really nice to have a Delta 737-800 in my collection, and yeah, it should be a nice model. Also, I do apologize if the camera's a bit shaky. I'm holding my tripod. Moving up, we do have like a very interesting miscellaneous. We have the Janet 737-600. And yeah, really nice to have a Janet plane in my collection. And yeah, she looks very nice in 1/400 scale. Also, of course, my first 737-600 in my collection. Moving on to the very top right here, we have the American Airlines Airbus A320. And yeah, this is the CFM engines with fence wingtips, and yeah, quite an interesting model. Of course, like the color is quite interesting, but hey, at least GeminiJets is improving on the color, which I do like to see from them. And yeah, moving on to this one, we are now moving on to heavy, so we'll start off with this American 787-9. Really nice to have an American 789, of course, in favor for like. It'll work perfect for my NG 787-8. So yeah, really nice to have these planes in my collection. Next up, we have the Delta 767-400ER, a very nice mold from GeminiJets. And yeah, really glad to have a 767-400 in my collection, and she looks absolutely very beautiful in the Ron Allen or Interim. I'm trying to like come up with I'm trying to like pronounce that name, but I'll usually call it the Ron Allen livery. I think that's a more popular saying. So yeah, Ron Allen livery, Delta 764, looking absolutely very beautiful. Next up, we have the Atlas Air 767-300ER, looking absolutely very beautiful as well. And yeah, a nice model to like do some charter flights in some of my airport updates. So this Atlas Air 767-300ER would be useful for that. And last but not least, we have the beautiful Qantas 787-9 Dreamliner. Man, I'm just super fortunate to now have a Qantas Dreamliner in my collection right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all like section 2 and section 1. So I do have one more section to cover, and that'll be section 3. And this is the part where I still had like the recordings for section 3. So yeah, all those recordings I have, of course, section 1 and 2 were pretty much like erased from my memories, like all my videos, so that was quite unfortunate, but I'm thankful that I still have all the recordings from section 3. So we're gonna go all the way back to June 24th, 2023, which is day 3 of the collectible show, and I'm gonna show you all the models. Well, I unboxed less models on that day, but I also got some extra stuff. So yeah, I'm ready to like transition into section 3 of this unboxing, and we're gonna go all the way back to June 24th, 2023, so we can look at all the models right there. So without further delay, let's go all the way back to June 2023 and go to like section 3 of Mass Unboxing 10. So I'll see you back in June. And welcome back everybody to day 3. My third and last portion of Mass Unboxing 3 has arrived, and today is day 3 of the convention, also the last day. And I decided to go for small this time, as I said in the previous clip, because I don't want to like travel too much with all these models. So now that I decided to like go for small, and we got some very interesting models here on day 3. So let's begin this unboxing for the third portion. Alright, so let's begin the third portion of Mass Unboxing 10. So I'm very excited for this unboxing, so yeah. Last portion of the unboxing. So we're gonna start things off with something different. I don't have aviation memorabilia with me. I might when I like come back to the convention hall. So I decided to get first is JC Wings and GeminiJets accessories, or GSE accessories. So I decided to like get these because I need these for KRVL, because I don't have much GSEs. I only have one ground service equipment with me. So I decided like go for these. And how about we just go like unbox them in just one video. Hopefully my storage isn't full because I got a lot of photos and videos from Airliners. So let's start off with the GeminiJets 1400 airport accessories. This is like the first iteration, I think. It contains 19 parts without aircraft models for use 1400 miles. And as you can see at the back, you got all these basic pieces like passenger air bridges, fuel trucks, airport fire truck, catering trucks, and all that. So I did bought 2 of these because like there's gonna be a lot. I need a lot of those for my KRVL. So here they are. So these are gonna be like all the service equipment, GSEs. And as I dump them, come on. Sometimes these are hard. Alright. So here we go. And yeah, they just spill out like that. I'll unbox the second one in the next clip right there. Now we move on to some airport GSE pushback tugs. So these are from JC Wings, and yeah, I never bought something from JC Wings before. And yeah, they're just pushback tugs, and they're quite different than the GeminiJets ones, as you can see right there. Sorry everyone, I guess doing all of them in one go wasn't enough for my storage space. But we got all these GSE equipment right here. All of them from the jet bridge, to the airport fire trucks, to the catering trucks, to all the belt loaders and all that. Here's the pushback tugs from JC Wings. Surprisingly, they're all Hello Kitty, which I'm quite surprised, so probably this is even air. But hey, at least I got some pushback tugs for more airplanes. And yeah, very fortunate to have some more GSE equipment. Now let's move on to the models. Alright, and now let's start with the models for this unboxing. Well, the third portion in this case. Now I'm going to start with a model that I already have and unbox on portion 2. And that's going to be the GeminiJets 1400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A220-300. I decided to go for a second one because yes. And yeah, I already did review the box already, so no need to like unbox it. I'm just unboxing this second one for the fun of it. So here it is right there. Of course, as per usual. So here it is, Delta A220-300 by GeminiJets. Ready to review this model, and yeah, very nice in my collection. The next model I am super excited about because I never had an airline like this before. I know they fly to Dallas Fort Worth, but they rarely fly to Sacramento International Airport, and I would catch their charter flights when I'm here in SMF. So I decided to get this model anyway, and I did get to see this at DFW, this Livery for the first time at DFW. And that is gonna be the GeminiJets 1400 scale Sun Country Airlines Boeing 737-800 with the 40 years of flight sticker. Really excited to have a Sun Country model in my collection. I've been wanting to have a Sun Country model for a while, and I'm very fortunate to have Sun Country to be added to my airline collection. So you got the GeminiJets logo, 1400 scale. Yeah, made for collectors, buy for collectors. Same box as per usual, CGI image, Boeing 737-800 Sun Country Airlines right there. 1400 scale diecast. Sides, always the same. As those guest features right there, you got the CGI image, social media's Boeing licensed product, and the 2023 copyright label from GeminiJets. And the item number is GJSCX 1960. So very, very excited to have this model, you know that? And here's the model inside, very nice. And here's the description of the Boeing 737-800, of course you could pause and read. And let's get unboxing to this model. So yeah, gonna make this quick because I'm gonna be checking out soon at my hotel. So I wanna make sure I get this portion, I get this unboxing quick and done. And here she is right there, and I think this is my first GeminiJets model with some split scimitars for the Boeing 737, so quite interesting right there. And here's the GeminiJets 1400 scale Sun Country Airlines Boeing 737-800. Really nice to have this model, and let me see if I can do a quick review on this. So you got the cockpit windows right there, the usual nose shape of the Boeing 737, L1 door right there. Nose gear, nose landing gear door. Ooh. Sun Country tiles right there. CFM 56 engines looking nice. You got all these wing details as I talked about all the time. You got the split scimitar, which I think GeminiJets did an okay. They did an okay job on the split scimitar wing on the 737. You got the Sun Country logo right there. Antennas right there. 40 years of flight sticker right there. The emergency exit doors and the slide indicators. You got the L2 door right there. And November 842 Sierra Yankee and the US flag, and the empennage of the aircraft features the APU and the horizontal stabilizers and the Sun Country tail, which I think it looks very nice, and I think GeminiJets did a good job on the printing on this model. Moving on to the starboard, you got all the cargo doors right there, as per usual. Moving on to the top view of the aircraft, so here's the top view, looking very nice. Bottom view features a stain hole and the GeminiJets logo. Front section, yeah, I kinda there's a lot of wing flex, but I really don't care that much. And here's the backside. So overall, this is an okay model. I gotta say, I think this is just a good model from This is a good model from GeminiJets. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, really nice to have a Sun Country in my collection. The next model I'm super excited to have because it's a new type of aircraft for my collection. And overall, I did get to see this aircraft from yesterday's spotting meetup. And that is gonna be the GeminiJets 1400 scale UPS McDonnell Douglas MD-11F. And yeah, very excited to have a UPS MD-11F because I did get to see one during yesterday's spotting meetup at Founders Plaza, and overall it was a good shot. So I'm very proud on how I took that photo. So you got the GeminiJets logo, made for collectors by collectors, the CGI image of the aircraft with a light blue background, or like a sky blue background, which is very nice. And it says it's a special offer. It's a show special, so it's like around $46 I got this model. You got the MD-11F right there, McDonnell Douglas MD-11F, UPS logo and 1/4 scale, and then usual side stuff. Here's the back side, looking very nice, as well as the UPS logo and the UPS license product and Boeing license, social medias, and the 2023 copyright label right there. And the item number is GJUPS 2177. So I'm very excited to have this model. Here's the model inside, looking very nice. And here's the description of the aircraft. You can pause it, read whatever you like. And let's get unboxing to this model. So, yeah, really nice to have this MD-11 in my collection, and first MD-11 in my collection. So yeah, here she is right there, looking very nice. We love to see it. Nice UPS MD-11, and what a beautiful model. And here's the GeminiJets 1/4 scale UPS McDonnell Douglas MD-11F. Really nice to have this in my collection, like I said, and it looks very nice. So, like I said, let me do a quick review on this model. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape, very nice. You got the door right there, the L door right there. You got the cargo bin right there, worldwide services, very nice. You got the engines right there. I think these are CF6s, I might be wrong, might be correct. You got the antenna right there. And then, of course, everything's all blank. You got the emergency exit door right there. You got some nice wing detail with the slats, flaps, and fairings, and all that speed brakes. And then moving on to this side, the empennage. I know this is quick, of course, I'm gonna make this quick. November 2A2 uniform pop is the registration. You got, I think, the APU somewhere right there. You got the horizontal stabilizers and the UPS tail with the number 2 engine right there. Moving on to the starboards, yeah, pretty much the same. And you got the cargo bin right there, and yeah, cargo bin right there. You got 2 doors on this side of the MD-11. And how about that nice winglet detail? Very nice. So here's the top view of the aircraft right there. Bottom view also looks nice. You got the same whole GeminiJets logo. It's a one piece, so nothing to complain about. Here's the front side of the aircraft, and the back side of the aircraft looks very nice. So overall, really nice to have this FedEx MD-11 in my collection, and overall, it should be nice for my cargo fleet. The last model I decided to get is an AeroClassics mold this time. And yeah, really wanting to have this model for like a long time, and I decided to get this. I was thinking about it when I looked at it on eBay, those coming in a lot of money. So I decided to get this at Airliners, and I finally found it for a decent price. And that's gonna be it's gonna be the AeroClassics 1/4 scale United Airlines Boeing 727-100, the first ever Boeing 727 ever. Really nice to have this model, and overall this model should look very nice. And I did get to see this aircraft at the Museum of Flight, and overall it was a nice experience to see this actual aircraft, so I'm very glad to have it. So you got the Boeing 727 tiles right there, B727. You got 2 US flags right there. You got tri-jets, 1/4 scale. You got the square cut out of the aircraft. You got a United 727 there. Some Uniteds. You got a Solbas 727, November 7001 uniform. Looking very nice. And here are all the 727s from United Airlines right there. Like on how they did that. So let's get unboxing to this model as per usual. And yeah, really nice to have it. Last model of the day for this massive unboxing, and she looks absolutely incredible. Wow, look at her right there. Yes, sir. Wow, what a beauty she is. What a beauty. And here's the AeroClassics 1/4 scale United Airlines Boeing 727-100. Very nice model in the collection. And yeah, really nice to have this in my United retro fleet. So you got the cockpit windows right there. You got the eyebrow windows. You got the black nose for the anti-glare area. And very nice nose shape for the Boeing 727. You got the L1 boarding door right there and the United tiles right there. I think these are the United tiles back then. You got the nose gear door. You got the emergency exits right there. You got some nice wing details. Of course, this is a one piece for the wing. You got the Pratt & Whitney engines right there. And of course, this is engine number 2. This aircraft is registered November 7001 uniform, like I said. You got the APU. I think this is the exhaust for the number 2 engine right there. And then you got the nice detail with the United Airlines logo with the horizontal stabilizers on top. So very nice model indeed. Moving on to the starboard side. I think you could see a little bit of cargo doors over there. Can't really see, but you got the R doors right there. Surprisingly, there's no boarding door on this side, so quite interesting. And then you got the R door right there. Very cool. You got the top antenna, top view of the aircraft, looking very nice. You can see the spoiler detail more clearly in the beacon light. Here's the bottom view. You got that nice chrome metallic. You got the stain hole as well. Here's the front side of the aircraft looking nice. And the back side also looks very nice as well. So yeah, very nice model to round off Mass Unboxing 10. And yeah, what a way to do it with this beautiful model right here. And my goodness, she looks so beautiful. Wow, what a beauty, like I said. And here are all my 3 models that I unboxed on day 3 of the convention for Massive Unboxing 10. Wow. I mean, like, it wasn't all that big as compared to the previous ones. I mean, day 2 was a lot, but hey, I decided to go for day 3 because I wanted to go for small for this one. So, what an unboxing! A lot of models for today, and yeah, largest unboxing I have ever did. So, currently right now, I'm still at my hotel, but I'll show you all the models I got when I come home. So let's transition into me coming back home with all the models that I got from the convention. So let's see all those models, everybody. Here we go. It's gonna be a big one. And I am here back home after an awesome trip to Dallas, Texas during the Airliners International, and take a look at this. Wow, these are all the models from Massive Unboxing 10. And get ready for this, guys. So I counted the total models, and the total count is 25 models. Wow, the largest small plane or massive unboxing I have ever done. And it's so close in lines of like JJ Skippy's Massive Unboxing 12 when he unboxed like 26 models during Airliners International 2022. So JJ Skippy, if you're seeing this, I'm kind of like close to like beating you in like Airliners International 2022's Massive Unboxing 12. So closing in on that 25 models, and yeah, wow, that's like a unit right there, a unit of models. Let's go over each model one by one, starting off with a very famous model right here, and that is gonna be, if I could try to focus, let me see if I could try auto-focusing this, hopefully, there we go. Yeah, I'd rather just like go for manual since it's better. So here it is. So here's our first model. It's the Delta Connection but Marinade CAJ 900, the popular model that everybody freaks out on. And yeah, very nice model, and I'm so fortunate to have it. And I did manage to fix the engine right there. So as you can see, it's the port engine that fell off. So I was able to fix it with super glue when I come back. So I'm very nice to have that model intact. The only thing I need to fix is the main landing gear. As you can see, they are, yeah, they're kind of like close together, so hopefully I can try to fix that soon. But other than that, it's nice to have this model in my collection. Look at this plethora of like Delta airplanes right there. Look at this. So we got a Delta A220-300s, 2 Delta A220-300s, of course from GeminiJets' recent release, with the interesting mold from Gemini right there. So here's one, and here's the second one right there, looking very nice. Next up, we have this Delta 737-800 with the World Champion Brave sticker. A very nice model and quite interesting to get this, and yeah, I was kind of like on defense of this, but you know what, I decided to get that anyway because quite interesting to have like a sports team model plane in my collection. So yeah, very nice model from GeminiJets, and the 737 mold from GJ is okay. So I mean, it's not perfect compared to like NG's version, but it's good. Let's just say that. Here's the altitude models: JetBlue Airbus A320 Spotlight Tail with Sharklets. A very nice model, excuse me. And it's in the Panda model, well, the Panda model's mold for the A320. And yeah, glad that this model came intact at least, so that's good. Yeah, really nice to have another Spotlight Tail in my collection for JetBlue. Let me scoot over right there. Let me move the light also. Here we go. Alright, next model off the batch, if I can try to focus it again, is this NG model's exclusive JetBlue Airbus A321 with the Prism tail, our 200th aircraft or JetBlue's 200th airplane in the fleet. So really nice to have this exclusive from Gemini, not Gemini, NG model. So it's a nice exclusive from NG, and yeah, very nice model indeed. And of course, it's a very nice model since like it has the R200th aircraft sticker. So very nice right there from NG right there. Next up, we have the NG model JetBlue Airbus A321LR with the streamer tail. Very nice model from them as well, and yeah, I might be doing a comparison between the Panda model and the NG version since I do have the Panda models with me. And yeah, I think this is gonna be in favor of the Panda model, so very nice to have this. And yeah, overall it's an awesome model right there. Next up, we have a very legendary aircraft, this United Airlines Boeing 7272, well not 200, Boeing 727-100, the exact aircraft that is displayed on the Museum of Flight in Seattle, Washington. And yeah, really nice to have this model in my collection. I was really on the I've been wanting to like get this model for a very long time. I tried looking it on eBay, and yeah, really nice to have this beauty, and it's a very nice model from AeroClassics. So I'm very glad to have this, and yeah, it's finally in my collection after seeing this aircraft in real life. Next up, we have the United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the Continental Globe livery by NG models. A very nice model from NG since this is their first MAX 9 mold, and yeah, very nice to have this model in my collection, and overall, it absolutely looks beautiful. The NG 737 MAX mold looks absolutely nice. Here's my Sun Country Boeing 737-800 right there with the 40 years of flight sticker. Of course, same deal as like the Delta 737. It's quite interesting. The split scimitars, of course, they are too big, but I mean, that's what GeminiJets did, and I'm not gonna complain about them. Other way, it's a very nice model. I like the printing, and the color looks very nice. So really nice to have this model, and hopefully I can get like the NG in favor. Well, hopefully NG can release this in favor of this model right here. Next up, as I zoom out, oh wait, that's the out zoom models already, so, okay, so that's it. Next up, we have this Alaska Horizon Air, Embraer E175 in the Horizon Air Retro livery, a very nice model from GeminiJets. And yeah, really nice to have this model after seeing this aircraft 2 times. And yeah, overall, the E175 mold from GeminiJets is very nice, and yeah, very cool aircraft to add to my collection. Here's the American Airlines Airbus A320 CFM engines with fenced wingtips. Really nice to have this model in my collection. Of course, like Gemini's A320 family mold is debatable, but at least I got this American A320. I'm gonna keep this for now until NG does one. So hopefully there can be an NG release on an American A320 CFM with fenced wingtips in the future. But you would just never know. But other than that, really nice to have this model. Alright, next up we have this Janet 737-600, a rather interesting model to say the least. Of course, Janet is based out in Vegas. And yeah, really interesting to get this model indeed. Of course, I think there is 737-600 mold. I think this is a JC Wings mold. It is very nice, and yeah, overall, not, I mean, like, I might be using this soon in future, like fantasy airport updates or fictional airport updates. But yeah, very nice to have this Janet 737-600. Ooh, excuse me, right there. Almost kind of like tongue twister for me to say that aircraft's name. Or the airline's name. Good, I think I need a drink of water soon, so after I do this section, I'm gonna come back and get some water so I can at least have enough voice for me to like breathe, like talk for this video. Next up, we have this Trump 757-200. I eventually unboxed this at my hotel. However, I kind of like deleted the recording to save it on storage. So unfortunately, this bit, like, you're gonna be seeing this aircraft only in the outro. I will do a separate unboxing video on this model right here, and you can, like, if it comes out, then you can click on that card that's gonna appear. So yeah, that's gonna be the Trump 757. It's part of Mass Unboxing 10. However, I did not like film the unboxing. Well, I did unbox the model. However, the recording did not go through. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like do a separate recording on this model. But other than that, it's really, I mean, like, it's like a model that I was on defense on, but I decided to get it anyway because I'm not sure if these 1-400 models are going to be sold out. I think the 1-200 model is already sold out on Gemini's website. So yeah, really nice to have this model at least, the 1-400 scale, and yeah, should be interesting for my fictional KRVL airport update soon, and some other fictional airport updates that I'm going to be doing in the future. Next up, we have this beauty from NG Models. That is the United Airlines Boeing 757. I know I got a lot of Boeing 737s in my collection already. But right here, we have the United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Her Art Here, New York, New Jersey livery. And man, I'm super fortunate to finally have this model in my collection after I got the Her Art Here California livery last year. And yeah, Her Art Here New York pretty much completes the lineup of my Her Art Here fleet. And yeah, very nice model from NG Models, and glad they did a second rendition or iteration of this model right here. So I'm very fortunate to have this model in my collection at long last. And now if you'll excuse me guys, I'll get a glass of water and we'll continue it from there. Alright, so after a quick water break, let's now continue on with the wide bodies now. So now we move on to the wide bodies from this massive unboxing. And let's start off with this beauty with the Delta Airlines Boeing 767-400ER in the Ron Allen livery, the first 767-400 from GeminiJets. So really fortunate to I'm really fortunate to see GeminiJets now making this model already. Super excited for the United Continental Globe one in the future. And yeah, a very awesome model for GeminiJets for the 767-400 mold. And yeah, overall it absolutely looks so beautiful. Man, what a beauty she is. What a beauty. Next up, we have this FedEx Express Boeing 767-300 freighter. Looking very nice, and yeah, kind of like applicable for me to add this freighter because they do fly to Sacramento, and yeah, really nice to have a 1-400 FedEx 767 in my collection already. And yeah, GeminiJets, although it's in their older 767 mold, hopefully they can do like a newer 767-300 mold in the future. But other than that, it's a very nice model right here. Next up, we have the Atlas Air Boeing 767-300ER with winglets. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So here's the Atlas Air 767-300ER with winglets right there. Looking very nice. And yeah, another nice model from GeminiJets right there. And yeah, really nice to have Atlas Air. This should be perfect for like charter flights that I'm going to be doing for KRVL soon, or some other fictional airport update. And yeah, very nice to add Atlas Air to my collection. How about this beautiful lineup of American wide bodies? As you can see, we got two 787s. I can try to focus. So we got two 787s and one 777 right there. So very nice to have these two Americans. Of course, like, well, yeah, American has like hubs in, like a big hub in Dallas Fort Worth. Probably their largest hub in my opinion. I think it's the largest hub for American Airlines, Dallas Fort Worth. And yeah, really nice to pick up these American models right here. So let's begin with the NG models, American Airlines Boeing 787-8. Really nice to finally have an American 787-8 model in my collection, and my first 1-400 788. And yeah, I think NG models did a wonderful job on their 787-8 mold. And yeah, really nice to have this model in my collection. Next up, we have the GeminiJets American 787-9 right there. Another nice model from GeminiJets, and yeah, the color looks very nice. And yeah, I think GeminiJets is starting to improve on their coloring of the American Airlines current livery. So really nice that GeminiJets is improving on that. And yeah, Red River Aviation flew on this aircraft. As you I could like zoom in the registration. There we go. So here it is, November 835 Alpha November. And yeah, Red River Aviation once again flew on this aircraft when he went to Miami. And yeah, really nice to have an American 787-9 and for him to have that exact airplane in his collection. Next up, we have the American Airlines Boeing 777-200ER. This is the NG model's iteration of this model. And yeah, really nice to also have this model as well. Excuse me. And yeah, NG's 777 mold is very nice, and this is their first 777 with the Rolls-Royce Trent 800 engine. So really nice that NG is like doing all the 3 engine configurations for the Boeing 777. And yeah, we love to see it from NG right there. So very nice model right there from NG. Here's all my GSE equipment right there. Of course, we got the OG GeminiJets JC equipment back in like, I have the box with me, so let me look at it. From, where's this from? 1998. So their first GSE equipment when they started like production in 1998. Of course, they're going to be celebrating 25 years in 2023, and yeah, of course. And if you'll excuse me, guys, I think I have, yeah, somebody's calling me, so hang on, guys. I will have to like BRB. But as I continue, well, I could just continue, but yeah, somebody's calling me right now. But yeah, here's some of my JC Wings pushback tugs right there. Of course, they are quite interesting. Of course, they're Hello Kitties, and yeah. Of course, we got all these other GSE equipment from the OG GeminiJets equipment right there. And yeah, looking very nice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna take this phone call. Alright, we're now down into the last 4 models. Let's begin here with this UPS McDonnell Douglas MD-11F. And yeah, really nice to have this model in my collection. I've been wanting to have a UPS MD-11 in my collection. Looking at it right now, apparently I can see like the nose landing gear is kind of like crooked a bit. Yeah, it kind of feels a bit crooked. I'm not sure what happened there, but I mean, it is what it is. But other than that, as long as I have a UPS MD-11 in my collection, I'm happy about it. So yeah, this model right here from GeminiJets is very nice, and once again, really fortunate to have my first MD-11 in my collection. So very nice right there, and my second, yeah, that's not my second tri-jet. I have a couple of tri-jets in my collection already. But yeah, once again, this is my first MD-11 in my collection. Next up, we have the British Airways Airbus A350-1000, a very nice model right there, and yeah, glad to have this model from GeminiJets, and probably this can be my first ever A350-100, like 1-400 mold. So yeah, it's my first A350-1-400 mold and my first British Airways aircraft. And yeah, really nice to have this model after seeing one in San Diego International Airport. So really fortunate to have this model. Next up, we have the Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner by GeminiJets. And if I could try to focus, there we go. Come on. The British Airways tail is blocking the aircraft, so that's why. Come on. There we go. So here it is, the Qantas 787-9. And really glad to have Qantas in my fleet already, in my collection already. Yeah. And of course, Qantas is a very popular airline. So I decided to get one at the Airliners convention. And yeah, really nice to have a Qantas Dreamliner in my collection. And yeah, after seeing one at Dallas Fort Worth after like 4 years, really nice to have this model in my collection. And what a way to like grab this from DG Pilot. And last but not least, why can't we finish off with the Lufthansa Airbus A340-600, my first Airbus A340 in my collection. Wow, that thing is a beast. Really fortunate to now have an Airbus A340 1-400 model in my collection, and wow, she looks absolutely beautiful. Wow, Phoenix Models did a wonderful job at this model right here, and once again, I'm really fortunate to have an Airbus A340-600 in my collection, and why not do so with Lufthansa? So yeah, what an unboxing right there. 25 models in total, close to 26 models from JJ Skippy's Mass Unboxing 12. And yeah, really nice to have all these models from the Airliners International convention. Of course, that's not all the models I have. There's gonna be a separate, a separate video of the Airliners haul that I got, and that video should be out by now. So yeah, really nice to have this model, all these models in my collection. They're gonna be helpful uses for my upcoming airport updates and some other future airport updates that I'm gonna be doing in the future. Of course, model airports to be exact. So yeah, what an unboxing. 10 mass unboxings in my channel. Why not do so? This is the largest mass unboxing I have ever done once again. And yeah, wow. So of course, wow. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video because like it was a long one. So yeah, I had to like do this for like reasons because I mean, of course, it's my first Airliners convention, and yeah, really nice to have all these models right here. And wow, a lot of units from mainlines, regionals, and heavies, and some GSE equipment right there. So other than that, this was a very long unboxing, kind of close to 2 hours. I mean, like, it was close to like Mass Unboxing 7 because I think Mass Unboxing 7 was also 2 hours long. So this was kind of closing in on like the 2 hour mark. But other than that, really, I think it may have passed 2 hours, I'm not sure. I mean, like, it depends how long this video is, but it sure was a very long unboxing right there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Other than that, this mass unboxing was probably the best, I think the best mass unboxing I have ever done throughout my channel. Of course, I got Mass Unboxing 1 and 7 that were good, and Mass Unboxing 3, but I think this just tops out all the Mass Unboxings right there. And yeah, a lot of memorabilia stuff from like retro to model planes and some other stuff right there. And yeah, other than that, very nice assortment of models, and yeah, I can't wait to use them in my airport update once again. And yeah, I think these models should be absolutely perfect for my 1-400 airport updates that I'm gonna be doing soon in the near future. So I'm just excited right there, and I hope you guys are as well. So that'll do it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And let's just get another, like a last look at all these models from Mass Unboxing 10. And yeah, look at those units right there. Wow, very nice. And if you want to see more of my Mass Unboxings right there, like this one for example, then you can click on the playlist that's going to appear. And yeah, a lot of Mass Unboxings I ever done. Of course, this will be the 10th installment of my Mass Unboxings. And yeah, largest Mass Unboxing I ever done on my channel. And overall, this is going to be a very fun video, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, along with the other Mass Unboxings I did for the past 9 Mass Unboxings, well 10 to be exact. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Mass Unboxing. And yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.